I think I'm live. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Quantum Show. It's panel talk time. Links have been sent out, and I sent as many links as I knew to send. Shadow, you're already here. You're just gotta let yourself in the back door. That's all. I got my coffee. I did as Cindy suggested from the first hour. I took my shoes off and walked outside. Hmm. And put out a broadcast message. So if something happens, something happens. It's meant to be. So, yeah, earlier, first hour, my solo, I was talking about how I lost someone, death in the family, and my stance on how that works and how I feel about things. There's not a lot of sadness. I have one regret: I didn't get to know her better. And that's the only regret. But the situation didn't allow it, it just didn't. So, there we are. And we had good feelings for each other, as few as many as we had. Hey, Diane. Yes, Diane, I can see you. Yes, I can see you. You look like you're coming from YouTube? Okay. Mm. Had kind of a somber show earlier. This one may be somber as well. So, but yeah, recapping what I went over in the first hour, talked about my stance on death, that I lost someone, and got coffee. I'm not going to dwell because I don't see death as a really a bad thing. It's a change of address, change of frequency. There's been a lot of loss in my life lately, and luckily with my dad, I was able to talk to him about it. So, yeah, I had the shock. I've had the shock already, and I talked about being in the military and having, you know, the looming threat of death constantly over me. Many of us who have been in, all of us who have been in the military realize that feeling, right? Oh no, Diane, I see you there. I see you for sure. I don't know what's going on with the GUFON chat. YouTube is blacklisting him. Mm-hmm. But just like Rich, the show goes on. The show must go on, okay? And that's what we're doing because it's the Quantum Show. I was going to do a week in review, but nothing groundbreaking needs to happen for the quantum realm to be boring. It is not boring ever. It's never boring. Some things happen, but they happen so often now. It's normal. It's not paranormal. It's regular. And I don't see it as really anything to talk about. I talked about disclosure and I talked a little bit about Angeli. Remember her? Wayne's Cave. Remember that? I remember that. That was a big deal. Mm. And that was, I should go back over that story because I don't think she was 100% lying, right? I really don't think she was 100% lying. I think she didn't have a physical experience. She had a mental experience, a psychic experience, because that's what my experiences have been up until the cemetery. Oh, I wanted to talk about the other time that I had something go that gave me white knuckle fear. The cemetery tops it, but still, this was my first time experiencing anything like that. This is kind of a pre-Halloween show primer, right? Not talking about the cemetery. Me and Raven, or Raven and I are going to have a show before Halloween. And she wants me to talk about that, and that's cool. I can do that. Oh, every time I think about it. This other one, it was scary, but it wasn't like for Revolutionary War soldiers coming up out of nowhere and going and rescuing my friends, Gary, okay? Getting in my face. You stay right here. Well, nothing like that, right? What did happen was I was on a pre-deployment exercise. We were getting paperwork, shots, dog tags, personnel stuff getting ready. Yeah, this is what I'm going to talk about starting at 5:20, right? This is what happened. There's this dude in front of me or behind me, I don't remember. We were standing in line together, both in the Army. We're both soldiers. We're standing in line, getting shots and getting that body bag sent to us, given to us. And all the paperwork, the will, dog tags, all that personnel stuff, right? And he was wearing a pendant. I don't remember what the pendant was, but I commented, hey, that's a nice pendant. Turns out he was into Celtic shamanism, right? And I talked to him and I said, oh, well, I'm learning about Wicca. At the time I was. And I'm in a circle in town. And we just got to talking, right? I'm in a coven. I was in a coven. Still am in the coven, but extended part of that coven. And he said, now, I was a chaplain's assistant. So I have to interview people to talk to the chaplain, right? He's in my unit, so I would be his guy. Hey, reality check. Sorry. And I hope I got a good sound check. I forgot to do that this time. So, Diane, do I have a good sound? Do I sound okay? Because I'm using this little headset thing. I hope I sound okay. Okay, well, I'm going with sounds okay. I know there's lag and I don't get an instant response. So, okay, it's good. Thank you, reality check. All right, so I'm standing in line and this guy starts to tell me how his wife is demon possessed. I am skeptical, of course. And I remain skeptical up until that moment, right? He says, why don't you come to dinner one night, 2-3 days, and you can meet my wife and you can see what's up. I'm like, okay. So I'm left thinking, this guy is schizophrenic, or no, his wife is schizophrenic. The guy is going along with it because I've heard of stories of this kind of thing in my profession, right? So I'm going very skeptical. Like, this is just some mental issues. They're going to need counseling and therapy. That's what I went in thinking. It was not like that. Okay. Let me give you some background. Tim, you know this, right? Tim Stafford, DJ Wardove. I've told you this story in person, right? So you may know this story. I had a staff. Well, I call it a staff. It was a walking stick. But here's how I got it. I was assigned to clean the churchyard. Churchyard is holy ground, okay? At the time, I was practicing Buddhism. And I was doing Wicca, but I was also, when you start practicing Buddhism, you don't stop, okay? It's not a faith. It's a philosophy. It really is. And I was told, Alan, you got to cut down this tree. I don't like cutting down trees. It was an oak tree, okay? So now this is part of it, all right? Well, I get to clean up the courtyard. It's a courtyard. And I cut down this tree. And then I'm about to, and I'm still cleaning up. And I got called away on a different thing. So that got left for a year. Well, the tree that I cut down seasoned right there because it's in the desert in an enclosed courtyard. It was, I don't know what you call it. It's a square building where the yard is in the middle, right? I don't know if it's courtyard or what, but it was in there and it stayed there. And then a year later, after whatever it was done and over with, they said, okay, Alan, go back to cleaning that thing. And I was like, okay, yes, sir. Yes, Sergeant, whatever it was. And I got to clean it. There was that tree. It had seasoned. Okay. So what I did, and while I cut it down, I said, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have no choice. Thank you. And while I was cutting it down, doing the Buddhism thing. I'm still at this point doing the Buddhism thing, learning Wicca in the coven. So I get back to it a year later, and I trim it down into the walking stick. Okay. I treat it, I sand it, I make it very nice and smooth. It's knobby and it's bent, but that's what was given to me. So I'm going to work with it. It had one little knob on the side. It was smooth. I made sure you couldn't hurt yourself. Where I cut it down initially is smooth. It was about 3.5 feet long. So not super big, but it was about big around at its thickest, right? And it was perfect. Everyone who touched it, saw it, loved it. Okay. And on the tip of it, where I cut the top off, I was cutting and I got impatient and I tried to break it off and it didn't break off. It kind of split like that, right? So it was split like that. But I did go over it too. But that was the only place, and you really had to work at it to get a splinter. Keep that in mind. So I chanted and prayed while I worked it the whole time. It came from holy ground. All right. There you go. That is a holy item. That is a relic. If you ever heard of a relic, right? That is how you create a holy relic. And I kept that stick for years before I lost it, right? I couldn't find it anymore. It's like it left. I moved from El Paso to Colorado. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. And then I believe it got stolen. But that's where it came from. But anyway, at the time, I went to Dude's house and I've got my stick in the dashboard of my little pickup truck. Okay. I'm driving a little white pickup truck and it fit perfectly in the dashboard. It didn't jangle around or nothing. Even the drive-through lady at Burger King says, I want that stick. I like that stick. I'm like, I can't help you there. This is for me. This is not for you. Amy is listening. She's here in quantum spirit. So I drive over to his place. I've got the stick with me, right? It is a holy item. I don't know, right? Okay, reality check. Thanks for coming by. First hour is a doozy, okay? And I don't know how long it's going to be until people come in. So thanks for coming by, reality check. Hit like and subscribe. You're here. Cool. You're quantum. Thanks, man. Okay. I get over there. I meet the wife. I talk to Dude. I meet the wife. Now, this guy is like a full head taller than I am. He's a real tall guy. He's built. We're both in the Army, so we're real built, but he's a big dude, right? All right. Hey, Zach. Welcome back to the Quantum Show. Going over the panel. I'm telling a scary story right now. Okay. He's a big guy. She is literally this tall. Okay. And I'm 5'7". So she's like 5'2" or something. All right. So she's a skinny little girl. They're married. And all right. They're living in a mobile home, trailer home, right? This is out on the economy. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And he lives in town. He got himself a trailer, not living in housing. So I'm sitting in a chair. He's sitting in a chair over to my right. There's a little table in the middle of us, like a coffee table, little one, easy to move. She's on a couch. We're talking and everything's fine. And she starts talking about demonology. And I say, well, I know a little bit about it, but I don't know much, right? And she is really consumed with this subject, right? That's oppression. I now know that is the oppression, the obsession of a subject that is harmful. She was literally oppressed by this thing for the moment. And we went into the spare bedroom, which is across from the bathroom, just down the hall. Little place. And here's what, right? This is the world of dial-up internet. Yeah, dude. Thanks. Zach is like, what? I'm only 5'7". Yeah. Sorry to disappoint you, but there's a big spark in this little package right here. And so we go into the bedroom, right? And they have a computer. It's set up as a computer room. Now there's an air conditioner right there, right? This is the world of dial-up internet. Okay, so she's getting on these forums talking about demonology, and he's on. I think there was a bed in there. I'm on a little chair. She's at the computer desk, much like I'm on a computer desk right now. I'm over here. He's over there, and I've got my stick with me. Okay. And I'm sitting with my legs crossed and up and just had it sitting on my knees. And now remember, I worked the stick. It was smooth to the touch like a table leg. All right. She couldn't take her eyes off it. She kept looking. She kept looking. She kept looking. Right. Okay. Well, just keep up the good weather reports, Zach. Keep up with the weather reports from up there. I'll be down here to post them for you. Talking about our heights. Yeah, I'm not a huge guy. Anyway, she couldn't take her eyes off the stick. It kept attracting her, right? Everything kept and finally, very slowly, right? I think I told him the story of the stick too. Very slowly, she reached over and right here, right? She reached over and was going to rub the stick like that, but she went, and she jerked her hand back and was like, and right here on her hand, she got a very deep splinter, like instantly infected splinter. It was already red and swollen by the time she jerked her hand back. Me and dude went to each other. We're like, holy shit. And she goes, and he goes, go take care of it in the bathroom. She goes, I'm going to the bathroom. And she walks over there and she goes, Nathan. He says, Nathan, can I please see your stick? And I'm like, yes. And I hand it over. And I named the stick Mule, like MYOL or MJOL for short for Mjolnir, but it's not obviously not Mjolnir, right? And he hands it over. I hand it over to him and he holds it and he goes, there is no way to get a splinter off this stick. I'm like, yeah, I know. It didn't like her. It doesn't like her. And there really was. I mean, go to every wooden table you have, run your hand across it, see how many splinters you get. That's the kind of finish I put on this stick. Okay. And she comes back in and she's going, and she's talking, we're talking, and she's starting to sweat. Air conditioner is on right here behind us. She's sweating, like, and burning up hot and shaking a little bit. She's on her computer and she lets out this breath of air, right? And she goes, ugh, just like through her nose, through her mouth, and falls down on the thing. And we're like, oh, what? He gets up and we walk, set her on the couch in the living room, right? She gets there. She's sitting there. Something comes over her. Okay. He sits over here. Something comes over her. I'm asking it questions. It starts talking trash to me. Just all the worst insults you can think of. It's talking trash to me. And I'm trying to talk trash back to it, but it's winning, right? It's trying to make me mad. Sorry. It's trying to make me mad. I'm getting aggravated, but I'm kind of just nervous and like, yeah, this is fake. I'm still got that thing in my head. This is fake, right? That she's schizophrenic. Then, okay, she starts, while she's talking, her accent, she's Mexican, right? You know the accent. Her accent changes. The voice stays the same, but the accent changes. It starts berating me, my family, my friends, how worthless I am, all the stuff that you expect from a demon to talk to you, right? And I'm thinking, this is an angry dead guy. I was wrong. It was not an angry dead guy, right? Okay. Hey, Lunar, welcome back. I'm telling a scary story. This is not the cemetery story. This is the something else, right? Okay. It's her accent changes. Her voice stays the same, but her accent changes. And now she says, why would you bring such a weapon of power when all you can do when you swing it is hurt? And he says the girl's name. I don't know. I don't remember her name. And I go, this isn't for fighting. And it makes fun of me for saying, well, you have a useless toy weapon and all this stuff, right? And it keeps taunting me. And I'm making zero headway with this thing, right? Then it gets really not angry, but offensive, right? Like offending, like verbally attacking both of us. We're both sitting there, right? This is what. Okay, now remember, she's this tall, he's this tall, all right? He's like that tall. She's this tall. Remember, she is sitting on the couch, cross-legged, in a prone position, okay? Just sitting there with her legs crossed, and she's like, and trying to give her a drink of water and stuff. He sees that she's getting more and more wrapped up in this, okay? Now, we have moved the table out of the way at this point. This is what made me white knuckle freak out on the verge of running. He goes, he's talking nice to her. He goes to hug her. She's sitting in a prone position. She throws him, catches air into the kitchen. I would not have believed it had I not been there. It took me a while to make sense of it in my head because this little girl, right? This tall, she's like 5'2", doing this 6 foot whatever foot tall guy, right? 6'7", 6'3", whatever. Picked him up and threw him, legs in the air like that, as he arced through into the kitchen, right? I was like, all doubt was gone, okay? I was like sitting on the chair with the stick across my legs. My knuckles went white, grabbing the arms of that chair. And it kept talking trash to me. So something happened. It kept talking trash, and he recovered. I mean, I think he actually had to catch himself on the sink ledge. I don't remember, but he was this little girl picked him up and threw him in the kitchen from sitting in a prone position. She had no leverage. I bet she could barely lift this dude's leg if it was sitting on her legs, right? And she just threw this dude, okay? Imagine a chihuahua throwing a grizzly bear. Oh, okay? That's what happened. This little girl picked him up and threw him into the kitchen. And I went white knuckle with freak out. I was about to just take the fuck off, but I didn't, okay? And it kept talking trash to me. Well, logic turned on. And I realized if this thing is, as it said, it's like 1,000 years old or more, and it's smarter than all of us put together. Hey, GM's Alcove, you're gonna want to come back, go back and listen to this story. So logically, and we got Keith coming in. If his devices will connect, here we go. Hello, Keith.
Hey, how are we? That should
Pretty good.
help.
I'm going to adjust your microphone. I'm getting to a story. Well, I'm telling a story about what happened. It is not the cemetery story. Okay, should be good now. And a Moody Mongol. Okay, I'm. Did you hear any of this story, Keith?
No, but I will pass on this. I ended up on the
Yeah.
horn with Lenny, and I was supposed to go down to Texas this week. Not going to make it.
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
Turns out the States has decided that to come from Canada into the States, you have to have 6 months available on your passport. I don't. So that said, Lynn Ann did say hi. She
Okay.
unfortunately tanked for the night, so she won't be in.
Okay. Alrighty then. Well, cheers to you, Linan. And let me wrap up this story, Keith. Welcome
Yeah,
to the
by all
quantum
means.
panel. Okay. So this little girl had just thrown this dude in the kitchen, legs flailing as he arced through the house, right? And it was talking to me, and something logic me says, if this thing is as old and experienced as it says it is, I'm not going to be able to talk trash to it and get anywhere. So I had to do something else. So I started telling it, you're alone. You got nobody like you to identify with. You got no buddies. You got no friends. You're alone. And that's sad. And my little white light turned on. Okay. I do still get choked up a little bit telling this story. My little white light turned on and it started getting brighter. And this thing started getting angry. And it says, "Don't pity me." And then she just it was interrupted. The thing was interrupted, and the girl started crying and shaking and help me, right? Like she's all of a sudden there again. And I'm like, I'm here. And I go over to her and I give her a hug. I'm like, that thing can't hurt you. That thing can't hurt you. And she was back. It got angry, frustrated that I was giving it pity because I was supposedly in his mind, I was an inferior being to him because, well, it had apparently lived 1,000 or more years and was possessing this insecure girl that believed in demons. And she was all into demonology and all this stuff. So it left her wide open to be possessed by this thing. And it did. It did possess her. And her husband tried to use, he was brand new to shamanic mysticism. He didn't have the ability or the confidence or whatever to stop this thing from getting to her. And it went away for the night. It only went away for the night. I heard that it came back. He came in, I went to my car. I'm like, oh, okay. He came out and got me again. I'm like, and she was just angry again, but you could tell it was different this time. It wasn't able to sink its claws in her so much. And I was like, you need to leave. And I said, you got to go. You need to leave. And it went. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you to do this. This is above my pay grade here on the scale of Wiccan magic stuff. So I didn't know what to do. And you know what? A nerd's nerd. Something that happened. I tried to check back in with them. Apparently, I don't know what happened, right? But apparently it came back and started telling her husband, do not talk to this guy, meaning me. Don't talk to him. He knows the secret. And I didn't report it because what was I going to report? A soldier's wife needs an exorcism? How am I going to report that? There is no report for that in the military. In my office,
I'm sure
there
there is,
was
but
nothing.
they will lock you up on a Section 8.
Yeah, and that was not going to help anybody. We were about to deploy in like less than a month, so I'm not going to wreck these people. And then they wouldn't talk to me after that. They wouldn't talk to me at all. Okay, anyway, that's the story. It freaked me all the way out. That was my first experience with something not human that was not nice, right? Okay, and that was my first experience with something up to my face, and it was nuts. Oh, okay. Welcome back to the show, Keith.
Hey, thanks. I got a little tied up. I was planning on being in here right off the bat, but of course I got talking to Lynn Ann. And then, well, let's say we got a little caught up.
Yeah. Yeah, that happens. It's totally okay.
Hey, I'm
I
still
was in
awake.
your Yeah, I was listening to your show earlier, and good one tonight, Keith. Real good show tonight.
Thank you.
Every show is a good one. But okay, I know you
Figure out how to
probably
get things really focused.
say again.
This is still trying to figure out how to get things really focused. By the way, in answer to your interesting question on the show, I did catch a lot of it. Right. I was busy doing 3 other things, like listening to somebody tell me that it takes time to get used to a computer, but you can make money with them. And as soon as I told her I'd already spent 40 years and still hadn't gotten it, she says, well, it does take a little time. This is okay. I started in 79. I'm 60 now. I somehow don't think I'm making another 40 years, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Right.
You know,
The computer?
oh, I am
About
going to
using a
fix up the computer enough to work with because the so-called professionals are useless.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I
yeah.
love the people that go, I don't know really what I'm doing, but I'll give it a shot. Those people I can work with. But the thing I was going to say, you were talking about a school to actually teach.
Yes.
I'm in the middle of setting one up.
Okay. Because I saw a little video talking about why don't we have a real Hogwarts school? Why doesn't Hogwarts exist? And I've thought about that. And
You know
what do
why?
we have now, right? We have the public school system, boarding school system. We have
First of all, the public
the
school system
private
is
schools,
broken.
right? All of them have their own slant. Go to any college and they're all liberal minded and they teach people this weird stuff that's not conducive to getting along with your people, right? It's just not conducive, okay? And Keith, you and I, we really do agree on there are two genders. Whatever you do past that, your hardware doesn't change. And if you do, it's usually not a good thing, but whatever, right?
Yeah, there's every once in a while you'll get that third, that hermaphrodite. And those
Right.
might
That is a
that small game of its own.
right. But that is not the majority. And that's what people are
Oh,
talking
Lord,
about.
no.
But anyway,
Humans are a binary race.
Right. That's hard wiring. And we have all these other schools teaching religious studies and all okay. I am convinced that these good books that everybody goes by, they're interpretations of another set of events. We all agree on the flood. We all agree on several things. The flood is one, right?
Oddly enough, we
And
don't all, but that's okay. The
we
massive
don't?
majority do. Oh, God, no. There are lots of people that will tell you the flood never happened. Although the ark was found at the top of Mount Ararat, and the Egyptian chariots were found at the bottom of the Red Sea.
Yes, that I have heard that too. I've seen those papers. Who's coming in? Shadow's here. I think he's in.
Just don't ask me, man. But no, I'm in the
Oh,
process of setting up an actual healing center.
okay. Well,
But I'm doing it again. Healing center being able
you
to
in?
teach people how to do exactly what I do. I'm a firm believer if I can do it, anybody can.
What's up, guys?
You just need the
What's up,
right
Shadow?
guidance.
Let me adjust your
Hey,
microphone a
Shadow,
little bit.
how are we? He's ignoring me because he doesn't like me anymore.
Did y'all have a game quibble?
Huh?
Okay, should be good. Well, I don't want you to be too high because
How about now?
you
How's that?
perfect
Well, if you don't
right
want
there.
him to be too high, take his weed away.
Yeah, okay. um, but yeah, we were just talking about why is there not a real Hogwarts type school? And when I took a look at, we've got universities teaching their garbage, we got private schools and public schools, and they're all teaching how to be a good factory worker, basically, but nothing teaches the higher, what we talk about here, the mental arts, remote viewing, connection with your inner energies, you know, the chakra thing, and where you, the candle trick and your aura magic. We call it
Here's a
magic.
To
Here's
be
two
honest,
questions
guys, I bet there are such places. They just don't advertise.
Yeah, they call them cults,
well, they exist,
and they
but
get bad.
they're small pockets.
Yeah, but Keith, you were saying something. We were both stepping on you. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I'll get even. I'll trip. You know why? What the biggest holdup is between with getting that kind of a school set up? Humans are now trained to now expect instant gratification. True energy work does not work on instant gratification.
Right.
It
It
does
doesn't.
come naturally for some.
It
It is
takes
not
work.
on the whole.
It takes work and effort.
It
Just
really
like
does.
a school. You know, and other things that we have, right? Summer camp. Summer camp for girls, summer camp for boys.
I wouldn't
I
know
don't
any
see
different.
them. Yeah, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. Those are schools of thought. Those
Hey,
are
what's
more
up,
like
Fritz?
survival. And those are survival based. What about spiritual survival? Spiritual doing things like that. Not religious, okay? It doesn't have to be religious. There are lots of, what is it, the Moose Den club, or there's one down the road here, right? The Moose
Elks Lodge
Lodge.
or something like that.
It's a Moose's Lodge. Elks Lodge, I've heard of that one, but I don't know. It all starts to run together. They all
I
have
don't know.
their
My
little
dad found a
secret
guy
books.
that made moose milk, if that's any help. But I think that's a slightly different issue.
Yeah, that's
It's
interesting.
good,
But all these
but
little
no.
things, like not these guys. The Shriners are an offshoot of the Masons, and consequently,
My grandfather was a Shriner, pretty high up from what I hear.
Yeah, offshoot of the Masons, offshoot of the Hospitallers and the Knights. What's that
Templar.
word?
Or Knights of
Knights
Columbus.
Templar.
You do realize that virtually every organization today is an offshoot of something from before.
Oh yeah. But I'm just trying to trace some lines here. And Boy Scouts they have links to the Masons too. They're not very obvious, but they're there if you dig deep enough. And it's the Boy Scouts get people ready, and they try, right?
Well, they
Hey,
used
Edgar.
to. They used to.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with them now. Now they're just and something before the big hubbub about all of it, right? About the Boy Scouts and the people in the harassment thing and all that stuff. They built a new facility. I don't remember where, and it is abandoned. It is not being used at all. Why not someone move in and use it? I don't know when or where. I don't know where it is, but it can be used. Let's use it. Everybody walking in the door, welcome to the Quantum Show. We got Shadow and R. Keith Andrews. Shadow and Son, R. Keith Andrews. This is the panel discussion. I just talked about my first. Yeah, I just talked about my first spiritual. Yep. Oh, hey, Cindy, I did that. I went outside. Okay. I had kind of a somber show earlier because I talked about a death in the family that I have had recently. And thank you.
Who kicked?
And I don't.
Oh, you just said who kicked?
I'm not gonna be identifying anyone, but it was someone she was part of the family. And
Okay, yeah, no, that's understandable. I don't use names either.
right. Cindy, I took your advice. I went outside, took my shoes off, and walked around in the full moon with coffee.
Yeah,
It
I just
did
got through
help.
telling Cindy that the other day, didn't I, Cindy? Yeah, it's a great way to recharge.
I need
Most
to
of us
do it
don't do
more
that
often.
anymore. When was the last time you actually walked barefoot on something other than carpet or linoleum?
It's been a long time.
When was the last time I walked outside without my band, without something on my feet?
Right.
You know, the reality is for me, I just don't leave the house much.
Right.
And you're going to say that. I do a lot, but right now, as you notice, I'm upstairs because it's like 45 degrees outside.
Oh,
Well, that's a
it's
nice brisk temperature.
it's just starting to cool off here.
Not for this California guy. It's way
I
too
didn't say it
cold.
was good. I said it was brisk.
I'm the
I
country
would throw a
country
few
mouse.
adjectives in front of that brisk, but it's a family show.
Well, yeah.
Thank you, Diane.
You know that doesn't surprise me at all, Fritz. But I'm glad you came over here. Fritz, you got to come on the show one of these days because you and Nathan are two peas in a pod. Just saying.
Okay. At some point, I don't know. I'm thinking about doing a few things, but we'll see what happens with the show.
Every
But
time
I did that.
I'm doing something, I end up getting in trouble.
I
So I
did.
gave up thinking.
Yeah,
Well,
Cindy, I do feel better.
Keith, you are going to have to make an exception for me when I give you those painting lessons, unless you want to do it on my show. But I got to get you that stuff first. I've got a box of supplies. I just need to get off my tail feathers and get them out to you. Although there's a couple of things I want to add to it to help you out, but I just don't. I just don't have them yet.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I'm still now. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm pretty certain the answer is yes. You wanted the teachings of Buddha that I've got.
Yes.
One of these days, I've got to turn around. I keep looking over there. Should be looking over here. I've got the dang thing sitting right here in my drawer.
Well, wait until I send you the box. Then you'll have my mailing address, and you can just return the favor. How's that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not in a hurry to get rid of it. It's not taking up a lot of room.
Yeah, James. That 96.8. That sounds like just shy of heaven for me.
Oh, and Sydney. James. Hey, James. What's up, man? I was drinking coffee. I didn't see you come in. But, yeah, I did that, and it was nice. We have dew on the ground right now. It's about, I want to say, in the 60s, and we have dew on the ground.
Well, you live in the mountains anyway, don't you there, Nathan?
Yeah, foothills.
Great,
Foothills
so you
of the
got
mountain.
mountain dew.
Yeah. And it's a great place. The weather right now, I would be outside right now if I could be. But
Yeah,
I'm not going to
high
forsake
desert
the show.
is always chaotic. The temperature is literally gone. It's changed 40 degrees from night to dark here.
Yeah,
Well,
I live that
too. We used to go here. Of course, it's in Canada, so you'll have to bear with it. But we used to go from 40 degrees below zero to 40 degrees above zero around the year.
That's crazy.
Which, by the way, just a rough translation puts it at about 110. 40 below to 110 above. Which is great. But,
Yeah. But yeah, earlier, let's try to stay on some kind of a topic.
Well, there's another one.
Sorry,
yeah.
I bring that sort of chaos with me from my show.
Hey, that's okay. That's all. It's all good. It is the Quantum Show panel after
Well,
all.
tonight
just
was
gave
literally
you-
a non-topic evening. We thanks to Justin, we decided to not actually have a topic for tonight. It's the last, technically last show of the month, and I kind of like the idea of just at the end of the month, just unwinding and just chilling with some good friends and
Mhm.
talking about whatever came up.
Yeah.
But I obviously I missed your show earlier. Yeah, Justin.
Yeah, I was talking
well,
about the first. Huh?
yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
was just asking, what were you talking about?
Well, I was talking about how I've had a lot of people pass away in the past little while. My father, and I had the shock from that, but I'm not going to go. Yeah, life, death, and the quantum, right? Our quantum links, and how I view death. I don't look at death the same way a lot of people do. I don't regret. The only thing I regret is not spending more time with these people, right?
Gee, same
And
problem I had with mine.
yeah, I that is the regret. But I celebrate the life of the person and the good times. And that okay, death. It seemed the way this person passed away, it was painless, and it was sudden. And you know what? I think she took an exit point. That all her stuff was done, her mission was complete, her check boxes, her contract was fulfilled successfully. She leaves a great legacy behind. She had a great life, okay, with all the trials, tribulations, hard lessons, and experiences that we all have. And she said, and to her, apparently her contract was fulfilled, mission complete. That's how I look at it. And yeah, and she was like, okay, I'm ready to go to the next levels. That's the way I look at it. People think I'm being facetious or insensitive, but I'm not. I really believe that.
That's not insensitive.
And
Celebrating somebody's death or getting depressed about somebody passing. Absolutely, it's a shock to start with.
Actually, go ahead.
I'm just thinking from my standpoint, you celebrate the life they had. Certainly miss them. Absolutely acknowledge the fact you miss them. Like you, Nathan, I seriously regret the fact I didn't spend more time with either my mother, my father, or my eldest brother that passed. I should have, but ain't much you can do about that now.
yeah,
But
yeah. So
you want to add something in there, Shallow?
Yeah, I think your attitude is actually doing the best thing you can do, which is actually honor that person's memory. I don't think anybody, I don't know why my camera froze, but I don't think anybody would want to be remembered, in any way that does anything other than honor their memory. And I don't think our loved ones would want us to be sad unless they had some major stuff that they you know didn't take care of. But even then, I think for the most part they would want us to be happy for them, and not spend a lot of time grieving and being sad when chances are they're probably not sad themselves. Hopefully, they went on to a better place and they're quite happy about their new location.
Most of my fine when I get over there are confused about where they are, but on the whole, quite content. From my standpoint, I figure, when I die, there's people are gonna have a funeral or what have you. I like the Irish method.
Yep.
So I figure I'm just gonna have a wake about a week before I die. It's gonna come out of my estate anyway. I might as well enjoy the thing.
I think that's cheating, but I got no problem with that. And man, my camera is still frozen. What is up with that?
I'll pull it out of
do you want to try? Going
Is it
out and
frozen for
coming
you
back
guys?
in. It's
Yeah,
frozen.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And something else I was talking, I had mentioned in the first hour about this person's passing. She's not alone. She's there with her father, who died many years ago. She's there
Yeah.
with her dog, Charlie, and my dog, Tilk. There,
I love it.
we're all family. And I take a very Klingon stance. We have a quest for glory going on. Let me see if I can add you to the show now. Okay, you're here.
You're moving.
It's working now.
Yes. Yes.
Shadow, you're moving.
Yes. Thank you. I hate being frozen in place.
But I take a very Klingon stance on death. During life, quest for glory. At death, the body is just a vessel. Do with it as you will. Right?
See, I take a Monty Python take on life or on death.
Go ahead.
Here we go. Here's
I'm
Raven.
not dead yet.
Welcome to the show, Raven. Are you wearing cat ears?
Yes.
Uh-oh. You know you're going to drive Justin nuts.
What'd you do with the rest of the cat?
I can't
No,
tell.
don't answer that.
Hey, Raven.
Hi, how you doing? Sorry
Pretty
for your
good.
loss.
Thank you.
Fritz
She
says he
seems...
want my- Sorry.
Shadow.
No, go ahead.
Hey, how you doing? Fritz says he wants his ashes shot out of a 12-pound Napoleon cannon. But where do you want him shot at?
That's what I was thinking. Like, who are you firing for?
Well, some shot out of a cannon, huh? What are we talking about? Cremation?
Yeah,
Or-
well, he
Oh,
won't.
well, he said his ashes, so we'll take it as cremation.
Yeah. This is since I had somebody pass away, I figured talking about life and death on Earth. And while we're here, we're maintaining. We all know this. We're doing what we're doing to maintain. But when we pass away, we're all going to leave a legacy. It's just, what did Doctor Who say? We're all stories in the end. Make sure it's a good one.
See,
She's got a good
I
one.
look at it this way.
She's got a very good
When
one.
I go, when I go, I'm just looking at it, going, chaos, pandemonium, bedlam. My job's done.
They have a new way.
I'm going to make
with,
my own statue.
You're gonna make your own statue? That's good. I did a story a couple months ago about how they are doing a new process in Oregon. Either Oregon or Washington, and it's starting to gain popularity. But they basically put you in this like tube thing, and they liquefy the body within 30 days, and then they go out and they spread you on field, and they use you as fertilizer.
Yeah,
Not sure
that
how
sounds
I feel
like
about that.
that sounds like step one to making Soylent Green. No
That's
thanks.
where I'm with it.
Pardon me?
That sounds like
Soylent
step
Green
one to
comes to
making
mind.
Soylent Green.
Next thing you know, they'll solidify the liquid into little chips.
Well, how does that? Okay, so it's going to take some pretty harsh chemicals to get the body to decompose that fast, right? I can't imagine that would be good for crops, but moreover, how is that going to be if those are crops that is meant for human consumption later on?
Well, you've heard of the old idea of cannibalism. Works like a charm.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of akin to that, isn't it? It kind of feels
from
that
dust
way.
to dust.
You know,
From dust we
it's just
come, to
kind of
dust we
gross.
go. You know, we're going to be. It all breaks down into amino acids, basically. We all break down into amino acids and matter components. So
You know, the
yeah, I know
reality
the
is
process
they've
you're
already
talking
got
about.
the technology.
Say what?
They've already got sonic technology that will liquefy a human body completely.
Yeah. So that's what they're starting to do
No
now.
toxins, no nothing. Just
Oh, really?
the right land, the right frequency. You'll liquefy the human body.
Really? Oh, that's interesting. I just want to be cremated and put in a shoebox and then just, give it to some friends and then just have them bring the shoebox out and put me on the table for parties and things,
See, I told my ex-wife when I was still with her, I told her, look, I don't care. Do what you will with it, but for God's sake, this time, would you mind decapitating me first? I
Kind
only
of
got
reminds
sent to the morgue once.
reminds me of the story I heard. This woman had her husband cremated, and then rolled his ashes up in a joint, smoked him,
In the
said that's the
movie.
best he said that's the best he made her feel in years. It's
That's
just
just
like,
wrong.
God damn.
There's something wrong about that.
Hey, I'm just
That's funny.
passing the story along.
Oh no, I just, from my standpoint, it's simple. I personally don't fear death. I've been there often enough. It's a redundancy. It's a bit of an interruption to life, but it's really not that big of a deal. On the other hand, the method of dying, that one I'm a little bit more picky about.
Yeah, you've had what, 3 or 4 near-death experiences, right?
No, I went way past the near. 4 of them by the time I was 10, 5 after that, and a 6th one that's questionable, making
Wow.
10 total.
Okay, so I got to ask you: did you see a tunnel of light,
Oh yeah.
or what did you see? What happens? Tell us what happens.
Now I could pull a Spock and go, well, until you've been there, we don't have anything to work with. But no, you get over there. Essentially, you walk out of a flame. You do go through the light.
Okay.
You do see your light flash before your eyes, but you see it flash before your eyes via what everybody else went through. So if you spent your life, beating on people, you're going to feel every single kick, every single hit from every person that did it. On the flip side, if you spent your life being nice to people, you get all the hugs, the pats on the back, and yes, your loved ones are there to meet you. But when you come out of the fog bank, and there are literally millions of people coming out of the fog bank into what amounts to a gala, you're coming out, everybody's confused, really, except the people that are already there. And I literally watched somebody do this one day. I was over there looking in on this. This guy comes out and he goes, but I thought I was going to end up in a coffin. Somebody in the crowd looks at him and goes, down the hall, pick one. So he walks down the hall and there's coffins all over the place in this one section, right? He climbs into the coffin, and 5 minutes later, he all of a sudden opens his eyes and sits up and goes, wait a minute. I got into that thing. The thing that brought this about was somebody came to me looking for why their husband had not made contact. Well, I'm a working medium. So I explained this whole thing going on. The average turnaround time is 4 to 5 years from the time somebody passes to the time they really make it back over to let you know.
Mhm.
Well, that goes down. Well, no, correct. It's 4 to 5 years our time. It's about 5 minutes their time. But you got to remember that the Bible actually got it right where they said a day is as 1,000 years, which means a second works out to about 4 days. A year works out to about 9 months. So 5 minutes works out to about 4 years.
Wow.
The second he come out of the coffin, he made contact with her. And I'll tell you, was she ever happy about it?
Yeah. Wow.
But it's during that part, now I can tell you this, because you'll forget it when you die anyway. Hell, as in fire, brimstone, the great river Styx,
Mhm.
the deep tissue massages that they have on the rack and on the torture tables are real. Okay, so are the neat little fluffy cushions and the nice little games of chess and the relaxation and the elevator music. It's all real. Problem is, you're not stuck there. You're stuck there until you remember you've got the option to leave.
Okay,
Then
I've heard
go
you
back
say
down
that
to the
before.
gala and
Yeah,
set
yeah.
things up.
Yeah, I've seen what dreams may come like 100 times. I know exactly what I'm doing when I get there.
Mhm.
I haven't seen what dreams may come Yeah.
Best Robin Williams movie of all time.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
okay. I
good
thought
one.
that was Patch Williams. Or no, Patch Adams.
No. That movie pales in comparison to What Dreams May Come.
I haven't seen that
Yeah.
one.
And real quick, Lunar Sparkles. My mom did the same thing. I'm planning on doing the same thing as well. The price of coffins and all that junk is just an absolute scam to buy a piece of land that almost no one's ever going to visit anyways. If you knew the average attendance to actual cemeteries, you'd do the same. You'd be like, nope, not doing it. Tens of thousands of dollars for a coffin and a patch of land that no one's ever going to visit.
Hey, Joe.
Get in here, Joe.
Well,
What are you
man,
doing?
just take me out in the bush and drop me off.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you really want to bury me, dig a hole.
Yeah,
So-
funny how that's illegal, right?
Yeah. But well, that's why I get a kick out of it. It's legal to it. It's illegal to no, sorry, it's legal to attempt suicide. It's illegal to commit it. It's like, what are they going to do? Lock you up until rigor mortis sets in?
You're kidding me. Oh, wow. That's just,
Well, I went down a
absurd.
dark alley.
I mean, this is totally absurd. But I'm not surprised. And nothing surprises me anymore. This world's gone bonkers. It's just bonkers. All of it. This one, I think it can't get any more insane. It gets more insane. So anything goes.
Edgar wants to go to space with waffles. Uh-oh. Now, how is it that Nathan gets kicked out of his own show and we're still here?
I know. What happened?
I don't know.
Okay,
He
hang on,
announced
I
he
can
got
do
kicked out.
Let's see if I can get over here so I can see the chat.
Hey, what happened, Nathan? Get your butt back in here.
Um,
Because you know what happens if I run the show. This is going to get crazy.
Getting?
okay, now I can see the chat room. I have to look at the chat room on my laptop over here. For some reason on my phone, I can't get the chat room there on the right-hand side.
Well, that's
Okay.
why I've got the one.
Yeah,
I've got the,
Yeah, that's
the
actually,
whole thing there.
I think Justin and a friend of ours, Elle, was saying that's actually something on the host side of things. They don't edit their settings. People on phones and things like that actually can't see the chat. But in
Oh,
Texas,
Cindy
I can
has-
keep your stones, but not your rotting bodies. Okay, how does that work?
Cindy has a question for you, Keith. She wants to know when you were going down to the tunnel of light, were you able to turn around?
A
Or do
couple
you-
of times. Yeah, things are not as cut and dried as what we've been told. But the sad reality is, so many people have tried the near death. I just bypassed the near thing and went straight to the end game. But yeah, the white light, yes, you can turn around and come back. If you watch Deadpool, it shows him going to the light and turning around before he gets there and turns around and comes back.
Mhm.
Okay. Same thing happens if they bring you back when you flatline. If they use the defib, same thing happens. You're getting close to the exit point, and all of a sudden you get spun around and yanked back.
Right.
But
Okay.
in my case, I did it voluntarily. It's just, no, I've still got things I got to deal with. When I died in 1956, that was literally what I turned around and did.
So
Right.
what happens if it's not, if it is your time and you decide you don't want to go and you get down the tunnel and you turn around and you go back, then are you just stuck being a ghost?
Oh God,
Can
no.
can you get back in your body and reanimate it, or?
Sometimes what usually happens is you realize, okay, I can't make that trip. So you turn around and go back down and go, okay, fine, I'm going to go. I don't want to go, but I'm going to go anyway. The reality is sometimes the body dies while you're gone, and once a body is dead, not once it is not born, but once it's dead, getting in and restarting it is like getting into a car that the motor is toasted on and praying you can ignite it.
Mm-hmm.
No, there comes a time, whether you want to go or not, there comes a time when the body just simply can't.
Mm-hmm. Or your time is up. So what about other like non-corporal spirits taking over your body, jumping in when you leave?
Show you what happens with that. That's where this one came in. Let's just assume for a moment that you've got a spirit taking over a body that's deceased.
Yeah.
Such is what happened to this little monster. It was in my son's room. And now this is a hand puppet.
Okay.
Okay, it's dead for obvious reasons. But
Yes.
somebody got into it and had done this in his bedroom.
Oh.
Now he grabbed hold of it and ran into my room and handed it to me and said, "It's all yours."
Nice. Gee, thanks.
Well, you notice I've still got it. I've had it for 7 years now.
So what did you have to do to depossess it?
Told him to go home.
Simple enough.
You do understand
Hey,
I don't play by the same rules as most. Nathan, you're back. But no, when somebody
Yes, my computer rebooted itself.
You're not looking at somebody that's even going to remotely function like a human.
Mm-hmm.
They will be very, there is such a thing as real zombies. But a real zombie is a whole different ballgame. It's still got the actual person in it.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
But if you die and something else tries to reanimate the body, you're not getting it up to move. It may be able to turn ahead, it may be able to sit up, but it won't get all the motor back.
I have read in several different books that when you are rendered unconscious, whether that be under anesthesia or you get knocked out, in a fight, or you're in a car wreck and you're unconscious, anytime that you are unconscious, you are vulnerable and open for spirits to attach to you. Is that true?
So, I haven't read it so much as heard it countless times. The only time that you're going to swap people, and this is why I was saying I gotta find somebody that knows more about walk-ins than I do, because I've got some things that don't add up. But are you susceptible to it? Certainly. Technically speaking, your car can be jacked. However, when you get thrown out, the key goes with you. Because
Okay.
you are the key to operate the car.
All right.
And without your key, that car ain't moving.
Gotcha. Okay. So then you come back and you put the key in the ignition and you're rolling around, but you got a couple passengers now with you.
Not necessarily. Let me ask you this. In a smart car, are you going to get 6 people? There isn't room for that many people.
Mm-mm.
You got to remember the entire operating system is based on the subquantum biometric electric flux, which means it is keyed to that specific body. Okay, very much like a fingerprint lock, but a lot more sophisticated.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have a book by a hypnotherapist, and she would depossess people. She would take them put them under hypnosis, and then discover that they had, at some point, some of them had carried spirits with them since they were little. But at some point, they were rendered unconscious, and they got these little hop-alongs, and they just kind of melted into their aura and just kind of.
Not on my end there, Nathan. You're still moving from my side.
Hmm?
Oh, Nathan just typed in the chat room. Am I frozen?
Oh.
Tagalongs.
I forget what my question was.
Tagalongs.
Yeah, it was something to do with tagalongs, and now I forget my question.
See, the biggest question that I would have for a hypnotherapist like that is, did they actually uncover a tag-along, or did they suggest the person had it, even accidentally suggest the person had a tag-along?
I was muted, Fritz.
At which point the human mind will flip over and fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very easy to accidentally influence somebody when they're under hypnosis.
Right. Okay.
Hey, Raven, Fritz and the guys are still waiting for your first video.
Yes, I'm working on it. I'm not a techie girl, and technology in me, it takes me a little bit, and so it will be coming up very soon. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Thanks, Cindy.
Raven, as easy as you came on tonight, that's as easy as it is to set up a video.
Yep.
Well, I may be able to.
It's the recording part. I think that's the hard part for
her. Yeah, and then trying to upload the art across the banner thing. I'm having trouble with that too.
Okay.
Trying to get the page to look nice and everything. And what are you laughing at?
We did none of that. We've still done none of that, and yet
well,
here
you're
we are.
dude. That's
Yeah. Being a girl on YouTube is like being on YouTube on easy mode. I already told you that. It's all you got to do is show up. See, look at Nathan. He knows what I'm talking about. You will pass us all up in subs. That's just how it works.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that confident.
I only ask for the occasional plug to the Quantum Show.
Oh, well, you will most certainly always have that.
Fritz knows what I'm talking about too.
So easy mode, damn right.
Especially with the cat ears. You got this.
Yeah. Justin's
that's
already
1/4 of the internet right there.
Yeah. Justin's already
I'm still of the question of what happened to the rest of the cat. But
what happened to my other one? Where's my other one?
I see so many people that do this, especially on Halloween. They wear the cat ears, they've got the cat tail, but nobody has the rest of the body.
I have a cat tail too.
Sorry, Cindy, that's my job.
What'd Cindy say?
I'm Raven's manager. It'll be perfect.
I told Cindy that you claimed being my manager here for YouTube, and she's like, "Oh no."
Yes, you should definitely wear some cat ears, or at least some elf ears. Nerds Nerd, welcome to the show. This is what we do after my show. Thanks for tagging along. I hope you enjoy the show.
I love the name, a Nerd's Nerd. Cool.
See?
I like that.
Nerd was in the live show tonight. First time. Thank you very much.
Cool. Love it.
The effect is not the same. Right? I even got there even animated, right?
Nathan, those are bunny ears.
Oh, they moved too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. They're sound activated. And I ordered cat ears. They sent bunny ears. It does nothing, right? The batteries are low in them right now.
Well, it does something. It does something, but it's not what you want.
Right. See, the effect is not the same. They move as I talk. Anyway.
That's funny.
Now, if you could get them to bend right down over top of your eyes, that would be something to pay attention to.
Those are really expensive. They
I
make
do
them,
have
but
elf ears. I'll wear my elf ears next week.
Watch. They move as I talk. They're sound sensitive, which is really cool, but I can't. Yeah, it's got a try me button on it, and they're destined to go to the bar.
You got to turn those up a little faster so you can fly.
Yeah. See, the effect is not the same as when I do it versus when you do it. The effect is nowhere near the same.
Well, that's why people ask me why I don't wear shorts during the year. It's like, well, I don't have the legs for boots and shorts.
And Nathan, and you have them why?
I was on a kick for a
I'm
time.
not touching that one.
It was a
I was on
cosplay
a
kick. It was a cosplay kick. It was totally for funsies.
No shame in here. No shame in here.
No, sir.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
right. That's right.
Hey, you know what? They made it to the quantum show, so they're quantum. Okay.
Hey,
They're
you
quantum.
got your money. You got your money's worth, because from now on, for years to come, we can all come back to this episode whenever we're feeling down. And
This was actually a last minute thing. I just happened to see him in the drawer.
Diane says, "Who is she, Nathan?"
There
Who
was
she?
someone involved. There was
Yeah.
someone involved. You nailed it, Diane. But it wasn't like that. It was different than that.
And Nerd says, "No justification needed. The ears are awesome."
Yeah, they are.
Thank you.
Raven,
They're going to
what is this about?
the bar.
What
I
is
used
this
to
about?
work
Other
at.
costumes?
Go ahead.
What?
Cindy says,
Oh.
"Wait till they see
Yeah.
your other costumes."
Yeah, I have some other
Cindy?
costumes.
Oh,
You know how to get a hold of me. I want some details on this.
Well, I've
me
got
too.
fairy ears or elf ears, whichever you want to call them. I'll have I'll wear those next week.
I gotta ask you, Nathan, what's with your
If the
fetish
girl-
of cutting people's ears off?
Yeah, if girls wear them, they're fairy ears. If guys wear them, the best you can hope for is their elf ears.
There's nothing wrong with fairies. Fairies can be quite temperamental, you know. You don't want to piss them off, Shadow.
Especially if you cut
big.
their ears off.
They're this
No,
big.
they're
I'm
not.
6 feet.
They're not all just this big. Some are this big, but there's some big.
I'm pretty sure I can still step on them too, because 2 feet tall ain't big.
No. The 6, 7 foot. Better have a big shoe
He can step on them.
and no
May
kung
not be a
fu.
good idea, but
I need a link or some photographs, or they're not real. Or I need to shoot one in my backyard and strap it to the front of my truck. Bring
Oh,
it to the
God.
center of town.
Oh
Don't
man.
even say that. You say that about
Oh,
Bigfoot, and I'll tell you, it's not nice.
See, okay, James, if you gotta go, talk to you soon, man. Yeah,
Thanks for
mango
hanging out,
juice.
brother.
have a good
I
one,
will.
then, James.
I will talk to you tomorrow night
Someone
if
else.
you're available, and if not, then Monday for sure. You go have that mango juice with your umbrella and your big straw and your sunglasses, and you enjoy, man. You've earned it. And welcome to the show, Joe. How
Hey,
you
Joe.
doing?
Yo, how we doing?
Howdy.
Hey, Joe.
I complained before.
You what?
What?
I would complain, but I heard it before.
I still didn't hear him. What did he say?
You said I'd complain, but you've heard it before.
Oh.
Okay.
I know
Yeah,
the
I
feeling.
think I gave up on the complaining thing. I figured, I could complain, but why bother?
Well, it depends on who you're complaining to. And as long as you're not being a Karen while you're doing it.
I'm not changing my name for anybody. Sorry. I never understood why they picked a specific name. I've run into
Raven,
people
check
with
this
all
out.
kinds of names.
I got a
What's
spell
that?
book. I got a spell book just
Oh,
today.
nice. First
Oh,
grade
cool.
You want
reader.
to know what's inside it? Another
No.
spell book.
Another spell book. Okay, cool. I can't read it. What's it say?
Just says spell book. And
Oh,
of course,
okay.
there's another spell book inside it.
Okay. It's just like one of those
It's the only
toothpick
magic
dolls.
trick I know. That's the only magic trick I know.
Oh. It's cool nonetheless.
See, the first
Dollar
spell book
Tree.
he's got there is actually the title. Once you get the page on the inside book open, it says Dick and Fun with Dick and Jane.
So how you doing, Joe?
Take care, Justin. We'll see you tomorrow, man.
think I
Justin
heard that
TV.
before.
Justin
I
TV.
said,
Ah,
I'm tired of listening to it.
bye, Justin. What's new with you?
Not much, but I have a question there. When I was in special ed as a teacher, okay,
I was going to say, okay.
You didn't need to clarify that for us.
really. When I first started special ed, I had both the gifted and talented and special needs at the
Mm-hmm.
same time. But anyway, when I was with special ed, we had a lot of students, Keith, that I thought they didn't quite make it. I mean, their body would be there, everything else would be there, but they didn't seem to have their spirit didn't seem to be there. You know, they're severe autistic. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
is what we
Mm-hmm.
labeled them as. But it always seemed to me it wasn't autism. They just didn't make it.
Right.
And
Like soulless.
there are times when somebody can get out of their body on an astral front and can't remember where the body is.
I've heard of that. And I've heard of soul loss too. Like if they've suffered any kind of trauma, the soul sometimes will vacate or break off and vacate.
Yeah.
Yeah, what ends up happening is you still have the tether, but the upload line isn't there. Right. Net result, okay,
Yeah.
I see the body, so the body stays breathing, but the mind doesn't reconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Or
And
very
yet,
little of it connects.
and yet you get
You know,
the sensitives that can tell what the person's going through, and with a little bit of effort can guide them back in spite of it.
In paranormal
you know,
investigating, sometimes these pieces that break off of the soul that they call them a shard, I guess, can
Yeah.
actually do a haunting in a place. And they advise not to try to send that shard back to reconnect because it may disrupt the person that it belongs to. It may not be ready for it to come back, in other words. And
They
to be very
forgot one small
careful.
little detail in that training program process. You have to realign the frequency of the shard with the host body. If you modify the subquantum vibratory rate, you can actually slide it back into alignment without any hiccup.
Ah,
yeah.
okay, I
I
see what
was
you're
given
saying.
one student. I was given one student at one time. They told me his IQ was 19. I have carrots that are smarter than that. Anyway,
I've met people that had an
he
IQ like that.
he came in the classroom, and first thing off, I figured something was wrong because his eyes were bright and shining. And most of my students just had a dull look to their eyes. And I think Nathan remembered me talking about Cesar. He came in the classroom first day, and his sister popped in about 20 minutes later. And I kicked her out. And 20 minutes later, she was back in my classroom. Finally, I told the parents, don't let his sister speak for him. By the next week, I was drinking a Dr. Pepper in class, and he saw the soda and went. He said, Coca-Cola. I went immediately across the hallway to the teacher's lounge and got him a Coke. Right then and there.
Good.
By
Good.
the end of the school year, he was in the regular kindergarten.
Nice.
Nice.
Well done there, Joe.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a simple thing to get him back.
Mm-hmm.
And other
So what?
times,
Why do you?
well,
Why are his eyes
I had another,
glassy? Go ahead. There's a little bit of a
his eyes,
delay. I'm sorry. I don't mean to
no,
talk over you.
his eyes weren't glassy. His eyes were shiny and sparkly and full of life. And that's the reason why I went, something's wrong here. I went to the diagnostician that day, the day I got him, and I went, something's wrong.
Mhm.
Most of them are not. The problem is most of them are trained on the clinical side of Terran understanding. They're not trained on the spiritual side of what really goes on. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, they're trying to ignore it.
Yeah.
AKA, if you can't quantify it, it's not real.
Oop, I'm losing people.
It's going to be the connection. I heard it's raining in El Paso.
I have no idea.
Things
The
look
odds
okay
are
on my end.
snowing in Nome.
Yeah, look okay here on my end too. Is that why Lynn Ann's not here?
No, Lynn Ann had a meeting that was really drew on her, and she had to pack it in early for the
Oh,
night.
there
But
we
she did say hi to everybody.
Okay, cool.
So health wise, she's fine.
Okay, good. I was
Other
worried.
than tired.
Okay, good.
But okay, y'all were talking about Cesar, how they weren't looking at anything but the clinical side of things. And Joe, what do you take from that? Is Joe frozen?
I just took it as a success. I
Okay,
don't think I'm frozen. Am I frozen?
you're
Mm-mm.
good.
You're not frozen.
Oh. Nathan, it was amazing because I had him and I had Chewy. And Chewy was another 19. There was no glow in his eyes, nothing there. You know, routine day after day, and you guys are, I may have to try to hook up again. You guys are going in and out on me.
Okay,
You look fine. You're to us,
Yeah.
but okay.
Oh, okay.
okay. Well, if you need to go and come back, go ahead. We got plenty of time
Let's
left
see
in the
what
show.
happens.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Lunar. I've never figured out myself. I've never figured out how to think on only one level. You know, it throws Matt half for a loop.
Yeah, we definitely think on multiple planes here. That's why we're all here, because we know that there is more. We all have had experiences that there is more.
It's just not Spirit Airlines.
Oh yeah. Go.
No, you
Don't
definitely
ever
take
fly.
demon. You
Don't
definitely
even
take
get
the
me
demon
started.
express. It's a lot more
Don't
fun.
even get me started. Don't ever fly Spirit Airlines.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, you never fly Spirit Airline. You take the pilot seat. Just for fun, you put it in the back of the plane.
Why not? It's only $50 more.
I got told the other day, somebody, and there was a real staunch Christian took a look at me, and he goes, "There's places in hell for people like you." I said, "Yeah, they call it the throne." Tell you, he automatically just
Yeah, it's called
right up.
management. Yeah.
So what? Why did he say that to you?
Oh, because I believe in the same. Because I talk to Dad. I don't fear death. And there's so many things I do that are completely against their teachings. The fact that I'm an ordained minister doesn't help the matter.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and you know what? Let me tell you, the spiritual side of things, the church filled with spirits, the cemetery filled with spirits, all Christian, and then me. They're
That's why
all
you can't die.
Christians.
That's why you can't die. They won't let you come in.
Yeah, not there. But imagine their position, right? that here I come and no Christians are talking to them, right? Every time a Christian talks to them, it's like, begone bad spirit. And it's like, what? We're not bad spirits. I want to go talk to this guy. At least he's friendly. You should join the church. Kind of, sort of. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Have some biscuits and gravy, y'all. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you got the church full of Christians, the cemetery full of Christians, and then here I am. And I think Joe's trying to come back in.
See, I'm lucky. God does want me, and Satan's afraid I'll take over, so they keep shipping me back.
Let's see. Are
Well, I'm
you
glad
in?
they do, Keith.
Joe, you're back.
Yes,
Welcome
I am.
back, Joe. Is it working?
Yeah, I was on the wrong router. I was
Nicely done.
extended from
I've done that
the.
before, but I usually get lost.
Yeah, you got to use the electronic one for the internet, not the one for woodworking.
Oh,
But
but I've got
Ba-dum-bum.
two for the internet. One on the
Yeah,
other side of the
networking
house.
can be fun sometimes.
You have a sick and twisted sense of fun, you know that. Just thought I'd ask.
Who did you ask?
okay, I mean, we're all like that applies to all of us.
Yeah, that's
well,
all
that
of us.
is true. But I was referring to Nathan.
Hey, look, there's a pussy.
Joe, only on the
That's way
Quantum
too
Show.
easy.
Yeah.
That could lead things to a very bad, a very, shall we say, not G-rated.
What do you say? What do you say?
What's
Say
that?
hi to everybody first. Say hi to
Oh,
everybody.
there's Chewy.
Hey there, buddy.
Hey, we have a fur bag.
It's even too
Hey
cold for
there,
him. out here.
buddy.
He's like, I had it with this. This is for the birds.
It was 96 degrees out there today.
Where were you
here,
at?
I think it was close.
Yeah, I don't think. I
We
think
had
it got to
smarter-
about 72 here.
We
See, I
were
think it
still
was
up in
closer to 9 and 6 here.
I think it was 82 still. It's like, and then it gets cold at night. Would you stop it? Stop it.
Welcome to the pet show, folks.
It's the ears.
This is a little Shadow is his name. Little Shadow. Anyway,
That wasn't the name you were going to call him.
I was just gonna call him Little Shithead, but his actual name is Little
They
Shadow.
just-
He follows me everywhere I go, and he gets in these little lovey monster modes when right before he gets ready to go to sleep. He has to just do this. It's a little nightly ritual he does. Then he'll turn around in circles for a while, and then he'll crash. It's just this little evening.
I
And then when you're not
condole.
there, and then when you're not there, he just terrorizes the place.
Pretty much. Yeah. He's a good baby. I'm
Knocks
sure.
everything
Yeah,
down.
he's beautiful. Anyway, what were we talking about? I totally
Sorry
lost
to
my
hear
train
that,
of thought.
Luna.
Yeah.
We were about talking about souls that didn't quite
You'll
make
see
it to
him on
the
the next
bodies, I
levels.
thought. Yeah.
Joe, I'm sorry I didn't hear you.
Oh. Let's see.
Okay.
We were talking about souls that didn't quite make it to the bodies, or bodies that didn't quite get their souls.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, like soul loss.
God, one of us keeps track of where we are.
Yeah. And how there's like with every trauma, until you process that trauma, I guess a shard of you can potentially break off and stay in the area wherever that trauma occurred. Or some of them, I guess, just can move around, but they like have their own consciousness, because they would be considered an intelligent haunt to a paranormal investigator, not just one that's just in a what do they call it, an imprint. This is like an intelligent haunt where it will talk to them like on an EVP thing, and it will do things on command. You know, when they do the little flashlight tricks and stuff like that, and they get that ghost detector thing, and they tell it to come close, and the thing will go you know, and one's for yes,
Mhm.
two for no, things like that. So it can show up, and that just blows my mind, because I'm like, so there could actually be a piece of me somewhere back in Indiana at the scene of an accident. It was funny. I hadn't thought of this accident in a long time, and it was around this time of year, and it was a bad one. And it's one of those, definitely, I had an exit point, and didn't take it. Because
I definitely
that
gotta ask.
T-bone, huh?
I gotta ask.
What?
What do you qualify as a good accident?
Well, they're all happy accidents.
Yeah. Well, no, they're not
Really,
all
throw
happy.
the little
But
tree.
Right? Exactly.
that's good one, Joe.
Some mountains in the background, nice lake in the foreground. That's good eating.
So there was I hadn't thought about this. I was just talking to Cindy today about it, and I remembered this. I was a passenger, and somebody else was driving, and we got T-boned. And the impact I took on my side, on the passenger side. Well, the two people in that vehicle that hit us, we were going from a country road to a country road, crossing over like a very busy 2-lane kind of a highway thing.
Interactive Frogger.
Anyway, I saw them coming, and I was like, I didn't even have time to scream. And the window was down, and I had my arm just kind of resting there on the thing, and there's all the glass from their windshield went embedded in my arm and stuff. But we hit, and I had a blackout. And next thing I know, they're telling me to get in the ambulance, and I rode in the ambulance in the front seat. I rode shotgun on the way to the hospital, because of they only had one ambulance, and there were 4 of us, and so they just put us all in the same ambulance, which gave the insurance adjuster real shit that they did that. But anyway, that accident was, I have a blackout. It's like the only blackout I think I've ever had for like 30 minutes. And when I came back to, I was standing on the road looking down. When they hit us, they veered off this way and went down into an old canal ditch and hit a tree. And they had to have, like the jaws of life come and extract them from that and the whole bit. And the people there at the accident, they had told me after the fact that what saved me was the fact that we were in a Bronco. So we were a little bit elevated. And so most of the tire took the impact rather than it coming through the door at me. But it should have killed me, really, regardless.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not debating it was a bad accident, but it wasn't intended to kill you. It was intended to wake you up.
Yeah. I said it was probably an exit point. There's a philosophy that you write in your chart several different exit points throughout your life, where you can choose to go ahead and stay on the other side, or just have, instead of a accident like that, maybe just a fender bender, or you have a surgery, or something that you'll schedule these little outings, like exit points. I don't know what else to call them throughout your life.
I don't know. They keep getting me back, so I don't think I get one.
Well, we're glad you come
Okay,
back.
do you think
Go ahead, Joe.
the attachment to sharks might explain PTSD?
Oh, yeah.
That's actually a good question.
That's a good thought. I never thought about that before. Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Because I can go suddenly from here to someplace else. All it takes is somebody dropping something behind me or around me that I don't see, or firecracker that I don't see.
See, I swear that happens to me because the wind changes direction.
I startle real easy too, and I can end up on the floor sometimes. I'll get startled so bad, and I just fall out. Just is that what you're talking about? Like you just you get so.
No, I
No,
know
I
that
just
somebody else better not be around because I'm going to respond. I think Nathan saw it once.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's an automatic reaction from trauma.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, there was more than once. And which time are you talking about, Joe?
Well, basically, you and I were in the store alone, and you dropped something back in your work area, and next thing I had the pistol under my belt, and I was coming running because I was going to kill whatever it was back there.
Right. Okay.
And you looked up and said, "Hey, it's me," and I went, "Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
I'm back."
I kind of remember that. A lot of weird things happened. So,
around you,
and it
you
was a
don't
long
say.
time ago. Yeah. A lot of weird things happened. Joe, I want to, you know what? In the spirit of Halloween, I want to go over the time when you called me. Do you remember that time?
I didn't call you.
You
When the
never called,
I wasn't
but I
any
had
phone.
you on record. I had you on my flip phone, my Nokia, where I had a record of you calling me. Here's the story, guys. Okay. One day, my store was closed.
I wasn't
Or no,
anything.
I hadn't even moved out of your store yet. I was still in the back of yours, right?
Right.
Okay. I had a table set up. I'm not going to go over the reason I had a table set up, but I had a little shop table set up in the back of Joe's bookstore. And I wasn't there one day. I was totally off, and I was sitting, probably playing Halo, right? When my flip phone rang and it says Joe. And I'm like, "Hey, Joe, hello." And you go with the most upbeat, positive tones. "I'm trapped under a bookshelf." And I'm like, I'll be right there. I'm 9 miles away. Okay. And I hauled ass to the bookstore. I get to the bookstore. Joe is sitting on, I think he had a stool or something. On one side of him was a pile of books. On the other side was a broken shelf. Right. And he's sitting there. He's shaking. I remember this, Joe. He's shaking. And I bust in and I'm like, "Joe, are you okay?" I see him sitting there and he's obviously not under a bookshelf. So he goes, he just kind of is like gathering himself because it fell on a bad shoulder and it hit his bad shoulder. Right.
I think so, look.
And it shook him. It's nerve damage. Right. So it goes all through him and he was recovering from it. He was breathing ragged and nowhere near being able to talk regularly. Okay. And I go, "Are you okay?" He just looks at me and just, kind of is there. I'm like, "I got your call. I came as fast as I could." And a
wow.
few moments later, he goes, "I didn't call you. The phone's way over there and it's sitting on the cradle on the charger on his desk. And I couldn't call you." I'm like, "Joe, I've got a phone call from you. Look." And I showed him the record of the call coming in.
Yeah.
Uh,
See, to me, this is just plain normal.
Yeah, it is now.
How
At
do
the
you
time,
explain
and
that
then
though? Is that like
yeah,
in the quantum field or parallel timeline or what? What is this, Keith?
That is the hook to the neural net.
yeah.
Humans work by
And
biomagnetic
you
flux,
know
but
what?
it's bioelectronics essentially. When you've got the
If
right
anybody,
frequency, you can trigger an electronic phone.
yeah, and
Oh, okay.
if anybody on this planet can go out of body and dial a phone that's hung up, it's Joe. Okay,
Yeah.
because
Okay.
he knows all the protocols, right? And he's already figured that link up, right? He's already figured it out. You know, and if anybody can do it, Joe can do it. The other person I say can do it is Frank. But Frank doesn't have to have a traumatic event to make he can just look at the phone and make it ring. Yeah,
Frank
right.
simply looks at it, looks at it, and it can be a dead phone. He'll get the thing to work.
He's got the magic touch with that stuff. Yeah.
But if anybody
Wow.
can hack the telephone system from the other side, it's Joe. Okay.
So, Joe, do you think it was you that did that, or do you think it was your higher self or a spirit guide that made that call?
My
What do you
spirit
think?
guide is a sloth. My spirit guide is a sloth.
The rule of spirit guide now. See, everybody else has one that says clean up. You got one that says put that back on the floor.
My spirit guide is a sloth. That's funny. Okay.
Three-toed sloth.
So, okay, it wasn't the spirit guide then. So. So, do you feel it was an aspect of you that made that call, or?
Yeah, most likely.
I'm pretty sure it was higher self.
Did you have any thought of trying to do that, or calling anyone for help, or think maybe you were you conscious through the whole?
I wished that I had brought my phone with me so I could use it.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, apparently
yeah.
you managed to pull it off.
So,
Right.
would you have thought to call Nathan?
Nathan would have been about the only one that I could have called at that time.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Most of the other people that would have probably been able to answer were in the Army and they were elsewhere. So.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's a fascinating story. I love that. That is so
And
quantum.
it happened. It happened.
Oh, I believe you. I believe you.
So many things have happened. So many things have happened.
Did Shadow vacate?
I think he's still behind the scenes.
He's connected. He's probably going from inside to outside. Yeah, he's still on the call. He's not disconnected.
Yeah.
But,
I'm over here.
I can't
so much
answer
stuff
for everybody else. I don't know how many people have PTSD here.
Well, I know I wasn't actually diagnosed with it, but given the fact, well, I was, but not by a doctor. When I went in with the heart attack, the nurse kind of come over and she only had a needle that was like 3 inches long. And she was explaining what was in it. And she pulls it out and goes, I'm just going to put this in your stomach. Right. Well, everything shifted gears. And my whole voice, my whole demeanor shifted. And I went, you're not going to live through that experience. But the voice that came out was nothing close to mine. Well, she all of a sudden takes the needle back here, backs up and goes, okay, that isn't anxiety. So she asked me if she could put it in my shoulder. I said, yeah, I can work with it. And she spent the next 4 hours, every nurse she came across, every doctor she came across, she told them flat out, I was not dealing with anxiety. There was a problem. But I know what triggered it. See, I spent 3 years in the MILABs. And frankly, in 3 years, I watched 197 friends get murdered in front of my eyes. Needless to say, this plays a real bad role with hospitals.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, no, I can't imagine. I mean, I could try to imagine, but oh my God. I just, ugh.
Yes.
You know, you can't have that title. My brother already took it.
Oh, yes, I can. I'm a reflection.
Hmm.
Of course, so are you, and so is Nathan. So,
Yes. No, I had a similar problem with
Oh,
the dentist. So, of course, I don't deal with modern medicine well.
Yeah, I don't either, especially dentists. I don't do well with dentists. Oh,
Well, I told the dentist that the anesthetic hadn't taken. I'm basically immune to local anesthetic. So I had 2 teeth removed without anesthetic. You know, shades of the Spanish Inquisition. That was fun. Not.
oh. I always self-medicate before going to the dentist, just in case, you know.
You know, for me, that would take so much. You know, I used to,
Usually with
I used to kill
bourbon.
a 26er a night.
Oh God.
mhm.
Mm.
You know, and that was while I was doing a minimum of 6 lines. We're just going to ignore the marijuana and the beer because I'm not trying to calculate that amount.
Mm.
But no, I think everybody in here, in one form or another, has a case of PTSD.
Yeah.
Am I going to go back and talk to a doctor to find out for absolute certainty? No. Of course,
No,
that has something to do with I don't trust doctors to start with.
yeah. In my case, if they were to diagnose me properly with PTSD, they would put me into a veterans program, and I don't want to be in that program because it doesn't have good results. It has very bad results. But what they do is they end up focusing on the problems, and that amplifies the problems.
Yeah.
And
How do
I'm
you
not
feel
going to do
about what
that.
happened? I've yet
Yeah.
to see that do any good.
Mm-mm.
When
So
I'm dealing with
that's
somebody like
why,
that, I focus on, okay, where are you now? And where do we
right?
go
That
from
is
there?
exactly what I
well,
say. Where are you right now? How have you grown to now? Because you grow beyond
yeah,
whatever happens in the past. It has happened. It will always be there, but you grow. You continue to grow. And what are you now? I wasn't the same person when I got out with those wounds, with the PTSD. I'm not the same person now because I have grown, and I had to take a real hard look at myself to realize I got to not do that. I got to not live in the past. The past is gone. I can't change it. What about now? Sorry.
And
Okay.
so many
they tried to
so-called therapists do that. You know,
yeah,
what
they tried to
happened? Let's
remove
go
my
through that
weapons from
again.
they tried to remove my weapons from me.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Joe,
never had a peach that bad as when they removed my weapons, and they gave them back to me, and I
it
calmed
went away,
down.
stabilized.
Hmm.
Well, they're your security blanket. But from what I gathered, Joe,
Right.
I don't think there's a thing in your hand that is available that isn't a weapon in your hands.
Well, Master Han has made sure of that, hasn't he? Except Jennifer, his daughter, uh, throws me all over the mat, though. She's learned my moves.
Ah,
I see Shadow's
you're
back.
not quite as young as you used to be, eh?
No, but Master Han has got 8 years over me, and he tells me I'm going to be a teenager. You going to be teenager?
God, I hope not. I
I
was
love you,
not
old guy.
happy about that time in my life.
Yeah.
Other people go, I want to be bad, go back to when I was younger. I'm like, thank you. No thanks. Not
No
interested.
thanks. Yeah, me neither. Me neither. No.
And
Yeah,
how
you
you doing,
should be.
Shadow?
Muted. I'm doing fine. Little guy needed tucking in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
He's too old for that, but still had to say goodnight to him. He's got a busy morning tomorrow, so got to do the dad stuff.
I'm quite happy to tell you, Shadow, they are never too old for that.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hope I get a lot of years getting to do that, but at the same time, he's going off to college in a couple of years, then the Air Force. So want to get as many of those moments as I can before he comes back.
Yeah, definitely take advantage of them.
Those chimes are a sign for you from the quantum.
Then that's a 24-hour thing. I mean, they don't stop where I live. It's always windy here.
They call that a tornado.
Are you wearing gloves?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God.
It's like 40 degrees out here, and I'm smoking.
Really?
Yes.
They look. Show them. Raise them up again. They look really cool.
Like Darth Vader.
Actually, they were long. Are they long?
No, they're not really that long. They're just.
Oh.
See, the gloves I have out in my car. But I've got a pair of gloves that one of my exes made for me. But it fits a hand like this. It doesn't have 4 fingers.
You know what? I figured you out. You're Slee Stack, aren't you? You're not a lizard man. You're a Slee Stack.
Slee Stack. Oh my God, I remember that show, Land of the Lost. I loved that show. That was my favorite show every Saturday morning. Oh my God, yes. The Land of the Lost. Yeah. God. Yeah, those Slee Stack things. Oh my God, that's so funny.
I forgot the name of them, but yeah.
Oh my
Stack.
God.
Thanks, Cindy.
But yeah, today was the show of death and how I feel about it. And thanks for coming out, everybody. I'm looking at these batteries.
Nathan, Nathan, you know we're gonna be here, man. One of us needs each other. We're there. It's that simple.
Yep.
It does seem to work out that way.
Yeah. And it was her exit point, and she took it. And it is all good.
See, I gave up on looking for an exit point. They keep shipping me back, telling me you're not done.
Mm-hmm.
Are you taking off, Lunar?
What?
It looks like Lunar's taking off. I couldn't tell.
Oh, okay. See you later, Lunar.
I think, and if not, stick around till the end if you want. Just when someone says later,
Yeah. If you got to go, Lunar, you have a good night. Keeping it quantum every day.
Yeah, when you lose somebody, it's traumatic to say the least, and it is heart-wrenching a lot of the time. But
yeah, and I have.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The hard part is looking at it, going, "Yep, they're gone. I cannot see them in person anymore." That doesn't mean they're no longer around, because as long as we remember them, they're still there.
Amen.
Yep. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah. Now we're dealing with the survivors. Okay. Now there's a lot of dealing with the survivors that are physically close to her. So
right.
There's that. And it just got me thinking about life and death on Earth,
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, it's been on my mind. We're at the end of the 2 hours that I usually go, and I don't know. I just wanted to do closing thoughts, maybe. I don't know, unless somebody's got something else. But yeah, just talking about how do we view death and what do we do to move on. And I wanted to go over funeral rites and things like that, but I don't think I need to. I think everyone has their own ways of saying goodbye, right? And I'm gonna leave. I gotta get a statue made because I'm an organ donor and I'm donating to science, so I need a statue, and I want to make my own statue.
Cool. Cool.
And it's not going to be one of them carbon copies that you can go to the cemetery store or nothing like that. There is something I would like to plug. There is a website called, I will try to leave it in the comments later, Modern Gods. And
What's that?
there's a place in El Paso that has all these statues. He got them from this website, and they're multiples, but they're made to order, but they're not, unique. They're unique unto themselves, but they're called Modern Gods, and it's pretty freaky looking. If you don't know what you're looking at, there's a place in El Paso, a house that has all these things, these statues up there. Down the road is a place with a bunch of robots in the yard. So it's a very interesting neighborhood. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Joe, you know what I'm... Ed, Joe, do you remember who I'm talking about?
No. No.
Okay, I need to...
I do
They've got a
remember the yard with
website.
all the,
Go ahead.
Okay,
I remember
The robots?
all the Catholic symbology in it.
Oh, no, there's plenty of those. This one is unique. Oh, okay. Cindy is asking a question. What kind of statue am I talking about? Personally, I want a first gen clone trooper. 5'7".
What?
A first gen clone trooper from
first
Star
generation.
Wars.
Okay,
Because
okay. I got it now.
first
Now I
generation clone trooper.
Stormtrooper.
Not a stormtrooper, a clone trooper. I identified with those guys so much.
So what do they look like? They're not in the white helmet, white suit?
They are, but let me, you know what? I'll get you a picture.
Okay.
See, if I were looking for a statue, I'd actually be more inclined to lean towards the 1950s blob.
The 1950s what?
Blob.
Glove?
No, blob.
Hold up.
B-L-O-B.
And yeah, let's see here.
The blob.
Okay.
Sorry, I got to go with the Mandalorians every time. Me and the boy, Boba and Django. Come on, you got to see that.
Jaguar XKE.
You want a statue of a jaguar?
I'm working on it, y'all.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know, you'll find the E-type car and the A-type girl.
And we're just going to leave that alone because we could get in trouble.
I believe that's what he's talking about, Cindy, in lieu of a headstone.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can share this image. Hold on. I'm working on it. I'm working on Wi-Fi, so
I don't know, nerd's nerd. I don't think Nathan's anywhere near that description.
I know, I'm with you, Cindy.
No,
Cindy.
no, that's
I don't
not.
understand anything.
No,
don't either.
from the clone's perspective, right? It's from the clone's perspective. Hopefully, it's sharing, and it'll come up in just a second.
Okay, so what
Found
is
a
it
good
you're
picture one.
Are you doing this in place of a headstone, or what are you doing with the statue?
On top of the headstone.
Okay, over the top of the headstone.
Better be careful.
No
Disney will probably
headstone.
send
I want there to be. There probably is not going to be a headstone. There's going to be some kind of. Well, they can suck my dead ass.
Jason, it would be
Have
so
you
much
seen
easier
Disney
to
lately?
take
Is the picture
to
showing?
take the whole,
that.
No,
take the
not
whole
yet.
stormtrooper idea, have him crawling out of the grave.
No picture yet.
I think somebody did that with a
Yeah.
zombie before.
Nothing's coming. Okay. We
Okay,
see it
it's
now.
working on it.
Okay. Yeah, their face mask
On
is a
Just
Booster
little
thinking
Farm,
about it.
yes.
So rather than the thing
Yeah,
that goes
that's
straight across, it
Gen
kind of
1.
comes. Yeah. Okay. The helmet's different, and it has like the Spartan
And
thing at the top. Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
talking
that
about second gen. You're talking about the second gen.
that helmet I was wearing Friday, Raven. That's what the Mandalorian helmets were actually kind of emulating.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna.
how do you see
undo
out
all
of
this
that
lag,
thing?
but that's. Yeah, you don't. Okay, I'm gonna turn the picture off now. It takes long enough
Okay.
because I'm not on a hardwire connection. This computer doesn't have a hardwire connector, and I tried using one. Didn't work very well.
So on these helmets, though, I mean, there's a big I see a big vulnerability right here in the middle. I mean, they could be shot right between the eyes,
Yeah,
essentially.
it's like a bullseye. It's like a
But
bullseye.
yet most of the, your peripheral vision. But I mean, how in the hell would you see through that thing? I'm
It's
looking
fun.
at this going, what? You'd have to, and why is the mouth?
He's unhappy.
Yeah, he looks unhappy. Yeah, it looks like he's
Yeah.
frowning.
You know why he's unhappy?
Because he's a clone.
Because there's no girl clones.
Ah.
Yeah, they were all male.
Well,
They clearly didn't think that through.
yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
think that
When
much
you're
into
making
it.
clones, it's not like you want them to reproduce.
Right. The whole
It's
idea behind
Why?
clones were
At least let him try. Come on. It's going to hurt.
Well, they're fine. They're just not going to have a lot of success.
Hey, you know what? I don't know about you guys, but trying's half the battle.
Trust me, in this case, I'm not interested in entering the battles.
You know what they say? Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, well,
it'll go somewhere, Cindy. I don't know where, probably in a park or something, if I can pull it off, or maybe on the side of the cemetery, since it's illegal to be in the cemetery. Maybe on the side of the cemetery by the creek. I'd be okay with that.
why it's illegal to put something like that in the cemetery? I mean, people are dying to get into the thing all the time anyway.
Yeah. Right. But this is one of those national monument cemeteries. So nobody can be, I mean, they're done using it. It's now protected.
They're all full. They're full up.
Well, you know the old saying, stack 'em, pack 'em, and rack 'em. Yes,
But
I've got a very
might-
different outlook. Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
my
and,
dad refused to have a gravesite.
Said what?
yeah, the only thing.
I didn't hear what he said.
My dad refused to have a gravesite. When I asked him about it, he goes, "Well, I don't want you guys tied to the grave. I don't want any of you boys tied to the gravesite." I looked at him and I said, "Why would I be tied to your gravesite? You're not going to be."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've heard it said the place to find ghosts are churches and bars.
Bars are more likely.
Yeah.
Churches and bars. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. The bar every bar I've worked in a couple of bars. haunted.
Me too.
Definitely haunted.
Yep.
You know, the funny part there,
Every-
Mason,
What's that?
before you started working there, they weren't haunted.
Bars or strip clubs? Just saying.
That
Bars
was the thing.
and strip clubs.
No, just bars for me. No strip clubs.
Yeah, Carl's.
You just
Has
heard
got
that
some stuff
wave
going on.
across the internet. All your future fans.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go shout out to Carl's Cabaret.
Let me see.
Can anybody out there say Chippendales?
Well, I can.
But you refuse to?
Well,
to
it
the
never caught my attention.
I don't think it was meant to.
I hope not, because it failed miserably.
Mhm.
I like
Yeah,
the
might have caught somebody.
That's hold on.
But yeah, Carl's Cabaret. And the only dancers I want need to have green skin with or without head tails. That's Star Wars and Star Trek, both, right?
Well,
You're
let's
not wrong,
face it,
Cindy, you
Gordon
are not
and
wrong.
Ryan were green skinned.
Hopefully, one will show up.
I'm more
know.
fond of blue. Green's just not my color.
Hey, Nathan.
Yep.
The Gordon green skins, will that work?
Sure. Let me see. I'll go ahead and get a pair of a classic Gorn. We can all know what we're talking about.
Classic or the new
I'll try to get this
I'll
figured
give Yvonne DeCarlo some props. She did wear green rather well.
Well, thank you, Cindy.
What, Cindy?
I guess it's all in your perspective.
Yeah, but realistically, whose perspective is it really important to?
Yeah,
Yours or
read
mine?
it's in the
Seems to me.
chat.
Yeah. Well, no, I just look at it this way. The person that's observing, that's whose perspective you have to worry about.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're referring
Let me
to.
see here.
Cindy.
Will I be able to share this? Cindy said, I'd rather see a naked woman than a naked man. I think they're much more beautiful. Depends on perspective.
No, she's right. She's right.
I tend to agree. I mean, there are
I
some women
I
that
agree,
don't
but
see that way, but
Hey,
okay.
Yeah.
Now it's not letting me do anything.
you know, I really got to learn to do this a little differently. But guys, I hate to do this. I've been up saying, well, actually, I'm working on 3 hours of sleep last night, so I am going to have to call it a night here. I know you guys are probably going to run another 2 or 3 hours here, or you might, and I'm just not going to make
Probably
it that
not.
well, after,
No,
Well,
Bella's
that's
right
okay.
at my-
Thanks for hanging out.
Yes.
far. I appreciate you. Appreciate you letting me in.
Gorn.
There we
Awesome.
go.
What the hell is that?
That's
It's
a
the
Gorn. Star
Gorn.
Trek.
The Gorn.
First Star Trek.
I guess I
Yeah.
missed that episode. Okay.
That's like the best episode, except for Mirror Mirror. Everybody knows that. Come on. You're
I
about
don't
to
know. I
lose
was, I
you're
was
about to
rather
lose your
full of
nerd
trouble
card
with
there,
Rebels.
Raven.
I don't remember those.
That's where Kirk made a cannon out of a piece of bamboo and a diamond.
Yeah.
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 Well, just
classic.
call me a
So-
Star Trek flunky then, I guess. I don't remember those at all.
Oh,
Now
I'm
you
getting
gotta
a
go back and watch
download.
the series.
I see in this download, I see a Star Trek marathon in your future. Raven, count on it.
Okay.
Okay, nerd.
Anyway, guys,
All right. Good night, Keith. Good to see
Have
you.
a good one, Keith. Talk to you
We'll see you
soon.
take
tomorrow.
care,
on Monday.
guys.
I've got Bella at my
Derek,
feet
there are
here,
your comments being erased.
so I guess
Try again, Derek. Keith, we'll see you tomorrow or Monday.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're out.
You take care.
Okay.
See you later, Keith.
And you say you got
And
Bella?
Joe,
Bella's
I
in your
got Bella
drawer.
at my feet, so I
Once again, Fritz, you are not wrong.
guess it's time for me. Oh, see you all later.
okay, Joe.
Bye bye.
All right. Well,
Talk
it's
to
good
you
to see you,
soon.
Joe.
Take care. Hey, Joe, hit me up in Messenger
Oh.
so we can like schedule an actual phone call. Okay. I've got a really
Okay,
tight.
and Nathan,
Yep.
even though I went to Circle tonight, I did not.
You what? Even though you went to Circle tonight, you what?
I did not
You
get
have
your
total-
information.
You've totally broken up again.
You totally
Email
cut
me.
out.
Yeah, you're pulling a Steve Austin on us here, man.
Okay, goodbye.
See you later,
Take care.
Joe. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
And I think he's disconnecting right now. There he goes.
He's frozen.
Okay, let me just
Yeah.
go ahead and
And Fritz, did I not
Take him
tell you
out.
the show's a blast?
yeah.
And Derek,
Thanks for
Derek-
coming by, Fritz. GM Zalco.
now Derek
Oh, oh,
says
Oh shit!
you
We
just
both hit
killed
the
that
button
man.
at the same time. I got it.
Okay. Me and Desiree saw a full body apparition of a person walking past our bedroom door 30 minutes ago down the hallway and had a blue aura around the body.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
That's awesome,
Whoa.
dude.
So what
yeah.
has a blue aura? Oh, we need Keith. Keith would know right off the bat. He would.
Yeah, he would
I
know.
remember reading about one of them that has it's a most likely it's an ET. This is a great book, the Extraterrestrial Species Almanac, and I would read it species a week, ET of the week on my radio show, and I remember there being one that is blue, and I think it's Arcturian.
I think
Let
you're
me
right.
check.
I can imagine, Derek. I would freak out too.
Yeah.
But then I would pull out my holy water, my crucifix, and send it back to wherever it
Let me
actually
see
belongs.
here. I
That's
think
me.
it's
That's
the
me.
Arcturians. Yeah, let's see here. Arcturians. Okay. Let's see here.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Snail, you are about to go a little trip.
Okay.
Sorry.
Was it tall? Did he say how
Well,
tall it
I'm
was?
thinking full body apparition.
Okay, so
Okay, nerd.
I told
Okay.
you, nerds. We don't fool around when it comes to having a good time. I hope to see you next week, if not sooner. Have a great weekend.
Thanks for
You're-
coming by, nerd.
thanks for coming by.
One of the gang.
Okay, Derek, it's Derek, right? It's all this. Okay, Derek, so here's what they say about the Arcturians. Okay, they have a height of 10 to 12 feet. Was this thing tall? Their bodies are thin, lanky arms and legs. When they walk, they seem to glide with elegance. Their skin is either blue or milk white. They have large craniums with small noses. They are actually higher density forms in light and in consciousness. Let's see here if there's any other physical. They have almond-shaped eyes. They are human in appearance, and they have blue lenses that
Okay,
can cover the whole eye.
Raven. He says
Yeah.
it. She says it seems to have been a lady.
Okay, they have female Arcturians also.
So, not Arcturian. Sound like human. The description was
Yeah,
of a full body apparition of a lady. So, thinking human
Okay,
at this
the
point.
blue is what I was thinking. Maybe it
Okay,
was
well, blue. That could be the aura. You know, that
Yeah,
could be
the
the
aura
aura
means
that they were
blue.
putting out.
Yeah, because Arcturians are blue.
Right. It could be okay. It floated. Let's see here. Okay, come on.
I don't know that a human spirit would turn up and look blue. Like I said, I've never heard of them being blue. Have you?
Well, it depends on the mood of the person. You know, I mean, blue could be, and it could be so many things. In my book here, in the way I judge, perceive blue is that is a divinity and
Yeah.
knowingness. So that's how
Yeah.
I perceive blue, and it's the God color, right? So
Yeah, Mother Mary, in fact, often seen is the blue, and she's always pictured wearing the blue. You know.
mhm. Yeah, it's the
Cape,
color
like,
of
not cape,
divinity.
but yeah.
Yeah, I perceive that as being the color of divinity. Human and okay, blue like a blue orb. Well, that's like whitish blue, light blue. But not like blue paint, but lightish blue. That's what I'm
Right.
gathering. And in my reckoning of colors is that's the color of divinity. So it's not bad. It's
Yeah, it's
just
not bad.
a thing.
Yeah.
And especially since it just kept going. If it stayed and wanted to communicate with you, there would be no doubt it was communicating with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Look at
Cindy
that.
is saying blue is peaceful with serenity. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it could have been an astral projector, you know, that uses a divinity method to astrally project.
Oh,
You
you
know?
know, it could be remote viewer too. Yeah,
Could
that
be.
uses the blue Merkaba.
Yeah. It's literally any possibility. And that is
Yeah.
why it is what? It is what? It is quantum.
It is quantum. Yes. Yes.
And Derek, that's why you ended up here tonight, I bet. Plus the internet held up for you. Way to go.
Lynn Ann and I were talking about how the veil, you know, this time of year, the veil is always thinnest anyway, but that it's thinning earlier and earlier. And it's thin now already. Have you noticed that too?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. I have sure noticed it. And it was a year and 6 days ago that I had the cemetery adventure with Adana.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She wanted
Cool.
to come by with her. Yeah, later on, and I am not, this was like, oh my God, Adana, what are you thinking? She wanted to bring her friend Halloween night. I was like, yeah, no. That's a bad idea. You know what I had to do to make up for that? No.
This is a family show, Nathan. Don't forget.
Do what?
I said this is a family show. Don't forget.
Yeah. No. I made an offering, a spiritual offering is what I did. And yeah, it was a family show. It was biscuits and gravy, and they seemed to be happy about it.
That's cool. That is so cool.
Even to this day, if I pass by there and I just think to do it, or if I don't think, I'll throw my hand up and wave at them. Like, hey, how you doing? Just passing by, going to the house, you know.
You can see that cemetery from your window, right?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
from over there, not my window, but over there. I can see the church from my window, but I can see the cemetery from the bathroom, the kitchen, the other bedroom, and yeah, it's very plain to see. It
I
is
would.
less than 50 feet away.
Okay.
This is holy ground.
Yeah. There was a video you made about a year ago, where you had got some kind of filter thing that you were putting on, and you were out during the day. And I remember that video, and I thought,
That's
you see
cyanide.
the church. I remember seeing the church through your window, and I was thinking you could see the cemetery too. Yeah.
Cyanide. Yeah,
Yeah.
the goggles. I was using the goggles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Day Dragon.
We need more of those videos.
Yeah, I need to make time to do those videos.
I don't know. October's coming up. If it's not
It's
already here.
October already.
Hey! I'm in California, real time. Not that weird central or mountain.
Oh, you got an
Yeah.
hour left. Okay. Technically, you've got 55 minutes left of September. Okay. Excuse me.
Welcome to the show, Black Dragon.
I stand corrected.
So, but it's the perfect time of year to try that out. At the very least, it looks cool as hell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you keep doing it, eventually you're going to catch something, or you're not.
I've already caught stuff. I just wasn't able to see it at the time. Okay, from when I was doing one and I was walking and I was looking down at the house, I was looking at the corner of the house, looking downhill towards the cemetery. You can see two sets of eyes, glowing white orbs, one in the tree, one in the bush, both looking at me. And I thought, well, was it a raccoon? Was it a possum? Because they kind of look like that. But no, the sun was pointing this way. So and I don't have a flash on. The light would have been reflecting from behind me to make the eyes glow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The light was from the behind them, and I checked out those places too. There's no place for based on the size, there is no place for a big ass critter to be in this weak little bush on my corner. It's wide, but it's thin. It's not thick. It's wide. It looks like a big bush.
Have you thought of doing something like a trail cam with one of those lenses?
Those lenses are $100 a piece. The trail cams are $20 a piece. No, I'm not going to.
No, I mean, well, okay, if not this year, then next. But if the things you guys say are true, then this would be the month to just let that technology do all the work for you.
Yeah, I have a trail cam. I need.
You know what would be even better though? Having two trail cams, one with, one without, right next to each other. If you can sync them up.
I would like to do that.
You know what I mean?
That would be neat to do.
That would be the definitive scientific, test of that technology. If you can sync up the cameras, one with the lens on it, one without, and boom, 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 and then go over the results, and then share it here.
Yeah, that would be good, but that is really expensive to do because I can get the trail cams, but the lenses are $100 each, and there's only one place I know to buy them, and he's not making them right now. He's doing electronics things. That's the Museum of Tarot. He is literally here in Nashville. And I was like, oh my God, let's go to Starbucks or something. But he's busy. He doesn't want to have the public coming to him. He doesn't have a storefront. And I'm like, I would love to see the museum, but he doesn't have anybody visiting. It's his house. So there's that.
If he's ever, really, really serious about, making those and selling those, and, that would be the way to go.
Yeah. The thing about his stuff is he makes everything himself. Sure. And he's been doing Like he made the ones that I have. Yeah, the frames are cosplay, okay, but they're still viable frames. The lenses are cyan dyed, just like they made in the 20s from that doctor.
Take care, Cindy. Have a great week.
Good night, Cindy.
Have a good one, Cindy. Thanks for coming by. And Derek is asking, Nathan, have you ever been to the Ocoee River? I went whitewater rafting in 2002. No, I've never been there. Not that I'm aware of. And yeah, but yeah, there are other things that he makes this little thing that you can buy. He's expensive, okay? This is expensive stuff. And it's he has this little thing, it's a disruptor, right? Where it disrupts the magnetic fields and auditory fields that are supposed to be infecting us or affecting us that the government puts out, you know. And he makes those. He did make the dicyanin goggles. He did make a full-on replica working model of the one they used in Vietnam. But I think he made that, it was like $400 or $600 or something that was like, oh, nope, can't get that. And he makes all kinds of electronics things, aura shifting things. And I think I have his link already in the description. I'm not sure. Let me see here. I don't know if I have it in the, but it's a Nashville Museum of Tarot. So,
Oh, cool.
are you looking at it?
No, I'm just listening to you.
Okay, yeah, but it's he is literally here in Nashville. When I got my box containing the thing, I was like, that's a Nashville address. I want to go there, but I'm not going to do that because he don't want all the kooks showing up at his house, and I kind of qualify as one of those, you know. I don't
No,
want to.
you're not a kook. No.
Wear that label with pride, my friend.
Well.
Yeah, but you're a good kind of kook if you're a kook.
I
you know?
I like things so. Dragon, are you saying you're in Northwest Indiana? Is that where you are right now? Because I got a story from Indianapolis. That was where I saw the three at the Comic-Con. Do you remember?
That's where I was born in Indianapolis.
Yeah, that place is fucking weird, okay? It's weird.
Well, I grew up 70 miles north of there, and that was weird. Where I grew up was weird. Really weird.
Okay. Yeah,
Indiana, guys, I was born in North Hollywood, okay? Nothing tops that.
Well, that's muggle weird. That's muggly weird.
Yeah.
Dude, that's weird. It's way up there.
Muggles weird. This is like Indiana got aliens. And I mean, right there at the Comic-Con, walking through, and I was like,
yeah,
holy, I was just like, those are not, those people are not human. Yeah. And I've gone over that little encounter, and it was a non-encounter.
Los Angeles, Hollywood, those people aren't human either.
Well, okay.
They don't hide it, trust me.
Any weirdness happening, even the normal weirdness, I should have asked this a long time ago, happened lately with you guys?
Oh God, there's weirdness happens every day.
Yeah, a lot of weird, you know, simultaneous things, like, or not simultaneous, but you know, like talk. I'll be talking with somebody about one specific, very specific thing, and then like the next day, I'm talking to some completely different people, totally unrelated, about the same freaking thing. Did we talk about the Tainted Love? Raven and I were talking about the song Tainted Love. You know how it was back in the 80s, it was real big, but it was a remake. And the next day I'm in another show with completely different people. And sure enough, that song came up, and they all thought it was, that was the original version. I'm like, no. I had to show them that, Gloria, I can't remember her name.
And I got a email from my friend from high school that loved that song and made me hate that song because she played it so much. And I haven't heard from her in over 10 years. And out of the blue, she sends me an email the next day. That was weird.
That was a quantum ping.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
getting
it
on the
was.
same sheet of music, and that was a quantum ping right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, though, it's actually been like a lot of musical connections like that. I was talking to somebody yesterday about Golden Earring, and then Golden Earring came up again today. One of the greatest bands of all time, if you guys don't know, but go check them out. They still are awesome. They've been playing. The guys in the band are like 80 years old, and they do 250 shows a year. So
I've had two occurrences now where I've thought somebody was here, somebody walking up the stairs. The living quarters of my house, the bottom half of the house is garage, and then I live on top of that, right? This big long stairway up.
like the
And
Fonz.
when somebody walks up the stairs, you can feel it in the floorboards. They kind of just jiggle. All right. So I felt somebody coming up the stairs before I even heard anything. And there was a couple of loud crashes on the deck. And I thought for sure somebody was here. I grabbed the baseball bat and I get out there and there's no one there. Not even any raccoons. And that's happened twice now.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened this afternoon, in fact, again.
Well, I had two things happen today that were kind of like that. Synchronicity type things where, okay, I don't, my office chair that I'm in right now, I've had it for about 2 years and the cushion is flattening out, getting old.
Mm-hmm.
And a few days ago, I was like, man, I would really like to get one of those cushions, but I just hadn't done it yet, right? I would really like to get one of those cushions. And today, my mom comes up and says, hey, do you want this brand new office chair cushion? I'm like, yes, please. It's exactly what I was.
Way to go,
it's exactly
manifesting,
right.
Nathan. Nicely done.
Perfect. And then another one was this morning in Alien Girl, this afternoon in Amy's show, Alien Girl 111. She was doing a Starseed interview with this guy, Jesus something. And my question, I sent it to her privately, right, was what does he know about the Galactic Federation, right? Now, he's a starseed. He immediately didn't see the question, started talking about the Galactic Federation. And that was, I don't believe in coincidence. I'm dialed in. He's dialed in. He knew what was coming up, but it was a little bit, he touched on it, but then he changed the meat of the topic after he heard the question being asked. And I'm like, dude, I don't need you to read into it. I don't need you to come up with a brand new thing. Just continue. But I wasn't in the chat. I was like in the audience sending individual questions. And that was my question. She asked him and he kind of changed the meat of the answer because he could have expounded on what he was already talking about the Federation. And then when my question came up, so that was 2 and that was good.
Cool.
And I there's no coincidence. It's definitely quantum manifestation. That stuff.
Okay, so Black Dragon had something cool here in the chat room a minute ago. Let me find it. Okay, he lives near 2 nudist camps. Well, that should be interesting. But the place where a plane had crashed on Halloween near a native reservation and a gypsy cursed cemetery. Whoa. So what goes on there? Your place must be like really off the hook. Halloween
Telling
time.
you, Indiana has got it going on.
Yeah, I know.
Raven, anywhere in the United States around Halloween is going to be freaking cold. Just saying.
Yeah. What's it?
No, just no. No. Nathan knows exactly what I'm talking about. He's like, nope.
Well, I didn't know there were any
Always the
nudist camps
gentleman.
in
Always the
Indiana.
gentleman,
This
Nathan.
is news. This is a news flash to me. I did not, no pun intended, news flash. Okay, never mind. I didn't know there were any nudist colonies in Indiana. And I was just going to say, it's awfully cold place for a nudist colony.
Yeah.
You know, I would think those
You
would be
know,
more south, but
I've known members, and they don't care about the cold. They turtle it up every day.
You went there.
I sure did.
Oh shit, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Well then, okay. So let's see. There's also a park near a highway that has had stories of human sacrifices. Ooh. Had seen a UFO in my younger years. Wow.
You skipped the babies part.
No, well, yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, that's not a ooh. That's a like
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, like I'm avoiding just saying that because it's horrifying. Okay, it's just
Yes.
horrifying.
Yes, we need to call that out for what it is. That's not okay.
Right.
Sorry about that, guys. Couldn't hit the button fast enough.
Yeah, definitely call it out for what it is. Oh man, if I ever come face to face with something I know, I'll do something to go to jail for. Because if I come face to face, there ain't going to be no cloak and dagger. There's just going to be dagger. There ain't going to be no cloak and dagger. Oh, I'm going to bust him because of his connections. No bullshit. I'm going full whatever barbarian I can muster.
Yeah, no, I would do the same thing, especially with black cats.
Yeah, I'll tell you a story one of these days when we're not on camera. Yeah, it's what the hell, right? Just what the.
Yeah.
There's got to be better things to do with one's time, like go into a nudist camp. I mean,
yeah, or Carl's Cabaret. I don't even know if that place is still open. They had a history of being opened and shut down. But hopefully it's still there. That was my first experience, and oh boy, that was wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the stuff I hear is still going on in Kentucky because Kentucky is also weird. They got it going on big time.
Yep. A couple of friends of ours are from there, and they have some stories.
Yeah, there's a whole underground that I have been made aware of up there, and
a lot of caves.
The caves.
Yeah.
The show Hellier was based out of Hellier, Kentucky.
Yep.
Has everyone watched Hellier? Have y'all watched Hellier?
Yeah.
I don't watch TV of any type. No.
It's on Amazon or YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Amazon. Okay. I binged it.
Yeah.
I took a whole weekend and binged it.
Mm-hmm.
They went behind the scenes. You have to join their museum membership to be able to get to this one thing that they have where they take the God helmet, the Shiva helmet, and they go deep. Holy crap. It was deep. He went to alternate reality, and where they were the government people. They weren't the ones the government were looking after. They were the government people, and it was excellent. It was like, and they were the government people. Alternate reality. It was like, holy shit, man. It was so good.
Wow. And you can only watch that if you join their museum.
A Patreon. It's a Patreon, yeah. And kind of worth it just for that video, but they've got a whole bunch of videos they've done on their Patreon, and it's good. they also host a convention online every year, and it's $15, right? Well, it was the last time I checked. Worth it. It's only $15. It's not like $300, like the UFO con in Roswell or Nevada and Utah, all those places. $200-$300 to walk in, right? And I'm like, nah, I'm not going to go to those. And they've got great speakers. I went to the Strange Realities conference here, and they're linked to the Hellier guys, right? Yeah, Derek, definitely. They're linked to the Hellier guys. And I went up talking to, and I was just introducing myself, like, yeah, I'm one of the only paranormal people that I know of in Nashville. And they were like, you need to talk to this guy. And I'm like, okay, what am I talking about? I don't even know. You know, I wasn't trying to nose in on their business. I was just saying, I know about this stuff. And that was, I took my goggles with me. So I'm in the parking lot looking like a crazy person with these steampunk purple goggles on. And the place is right across the street from the Church of Scientology. And I'm like, oh man. Yeah. And I was looking, I was taking pictures and video. I got them in shorts on my channel here. And I was like, oh man. And Mr. What's his name said he had been here, but I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you. That he's not here anymore. He doesn't come to this show anymore, which is fine. He said he had been here. Shadow, you know who I'm talking about. I'll talk to you later. I'm not calling anybody out. And
that airfare must have been pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, but anyway, I went to that and I met one of the guys who was key. He talked about injured cold. And I can't remember his name, John something. But I went up to him. Everybody is wearing like lumberjack shit, right? And I'm the only one looking like a fanboy with a big alien t-shirt. And I'm with my goggles on my forehead, you know, in this dark auditorium. And people are and I saw a couple of people that have been on Spaced Out Radio. They got their channels, but they had their do not disturb signs up, mentally speaking. So I didn't talk to them.
Yeah.
And that was fine. They weren't welcoming that day. So I was like, well, another time, maybe. I'm going this year too, whenever it happens.
When is it usually?
Hell, it might be coming up here soon. Let me see if I can. No, if I do anything online, it'll just lag me down. But if I do this, I can use my phone. My phone is on a separate line right now.
I can look it up right here.
It's called Strange Realities Conference, Nashville.
You guys hear that?
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, gunfire.
Oh.
It's California.
Strange Realities Conference. Okay, 2023. Yeah.
Nashville. Yeah.
Okay. Now.
November
3rd through 5th.
All right. Well, guess what's going on the calendar?
Yeah.
I got to buy tickets. Is it online or is it a real conference?
It's hold on. It's a real conference.
Okay.
My computer's just kind of slow here. Here we go. Strange reality. Here, I'll send you this.
Okay.
Expand your reality. Tickets on sale now. 3 days of high strangeness at SIR Nashville and online.
Yep.
Okay. Well, 3 days of exploring mysteries, the supernatural, the occult, history, and more with lectures, presenters, and workshops. Okay.
Does it say who's on?
Yeah. Hang on here. Featuring Christopher Ernst, E. Well, is that, I can't tell from the calligraphy if that's an R or an A.
I got some echo going on from somewhere.
Aaron. Gulyas. Does that sound right? David Metcalf, Michael Hughes, Timothy Renner, and Soraya Ascat. The font that they've used to type is really hard for me to read here because my computer's kind of screwed up anyway. You know how it's all. I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Azkath. Ascath. I've never heard of any of those people. All right, so then over here we've got some other people. Let's see. Okay, featuring Steve Berg, Tim Banal, somebody going by the name Recluse, Nathan Isaac, Ren Collier. I cannot, it's faded out to see that name. Let's see what else. Zach Hunt, Tobias, Rayland, Joshua. Yeah, that word's bleached up. And Brent Rains with workshops by Kiki, somebody, and Cheslin Vance. I don't know any of those people. Do you?
A couple of them were there last year.
Okay. Okay. Says okay. Strange Realities Conference is returning November 3rd through 5th, featuring speakers at the SIR Nashville and streaming online. The conference will feature presentation and seminar show all subject. Okay, I can't hardly read this now.
Post a link. Copy the link to the chat.
Yep. Here we go. Yep, coming right up.
I'll be going. That's my weekend planned. Well, Friday and Saturday anyway. I got to work on Sunday. Yeah, the place is really small, and the room is not that big. Imagine a small cafeteria room, and that's what they do it in. But they keep the lights low. Thank you, Raven. They keep the lights low, and I will be saving that. Well, I'll look it up.
I think I'll try to go too.
Cool.
Three Days of High Strangeness.
Yeah, it's good. It is not a convention.
Right up my alley.
It is not a convention. It is a conference. And the Bigfoot conference was more of a convention. There were no sellers. There were no vendors. You had to go out to get food because they didn't do it, though. That might be a good idea for somebody, one of the local places, to cater it, right?
Yeah.
I might get somebody to. I know somebody who might cater it. And
they've got an itinerary on here. Okay, and they've got lodging on here, suggested lodging.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be super expensive.
At the Fairfield Inn and Suites. Okay, let me see how much tickets are. The
tickets
SIR
are cheap.
Rehearsal Studio. Okay. All right, tickets.
But I'll be going. I need to go ahead and buy those tickets for Friday and Saturday.
I love how it says 3 days of high strangeness. Yeah, perfect.
If it happens in Nashville, I try to go. The Bigfoot conference in Gatlinburg is 4 hours away. I went to it, and I'm due to go back to the water temple at some point.
I would love to go there. I watched your video about it.
You would love it.
I would love to go there. Okay, it says tickets are. Yeah, I would. I'd love to go sometime there with you.
Tickets are what?
Tickets are $30 to $70. Okay, it says general admission for 2 days at the SIR is $70. And general online admission for all 3 days is $30.
Yeah, I don't trust online. I want to feel the place out. And the place had a good feel, you know. I met the guy Nathan something. I met
Mm-hmm.
him and he was on Hellier, right?
Oh,
I met
okay.
him. He's a neat guy. He's a nice guy. He gives a speech and he's just like talking to your table. You know, it's like talking to your table and it's so nice, right? And he does the Penny Royal podcast. Very good podcast, right? And
Which one was he in the show? Was he the one that found the they had sent him out by himself to look up one of these clues, and there was a chopper that went over. He was like in the woods or something. And then
no. This is one of the people who owns a store who they went to visit.
okay.
He was kind of a heavy set guy in the show. He's lost weight. He was heavier in the show.
Yeah, you
And
can't
he
blame
was
him.
one talking about it was after the woman in Kentucky, right? They were talking about how this woman had contacted them about finding a shack in the woods, and now she's been and this is in Hellier, right? She disappeared, right?
Oh
They
yeah,
they
yeah,
stopped
yeah. Okay.
contacting her, and she
Yeah.
was in jail. Remember that part? She had been put in jail, and her life was being ruined because she was investigating the weird culty activity.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay,
He
okay,
was the one they went to talk to.
okay, okay.
That guy
Yeah,
and the little store. Nathan, you said his name, Nathan something.
Nathan
And
something. Yeah.
he
Okay.
is he is a neat guy to listen to. He's a neat guy to talk to. But yeah, I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. This is going to be an interesting thing, right? And there are other hotels that you can, if you're going to come down for that, there are other hotels. It's just the driving in Nashville is horrible. It's like driving in Denver or Dallas, right? It's become like that. Just be ready. You know, I'll drive. Okay, I'll drive. I'm a Tennessee driver. I know these people.
Okay, okay. So I guess the people from Hellier aren't going to be there,
No,
or will they
no,
be there?
they will not be there.
Okay,
But they all talk to those people.
right.
I think they're all associated. And that was the one thing about the Hellier crew that kind of put me off. I joined the group. I paid for my membership and on the Facebook group, right? Every time I join a Facebook group, I make a couple friends, maybe, you know, but they acted like I was trying to undermine them. And I'm like, no, I'm not trying to undermine you guys. Not at all. They acted like I was coming in trying to cause trouble. I was not trying to cause trouble. I was trying to talk to them, and they took it the wrong way. On one of their live streams, they were saying they were calling me out, and I'm like, I didn't do that. I didn't say that. I was explaining what I had been through in relation to what they're going through. Not they took it as, oh yeah, this is old news. We've all done this before. I didn't say that. I didn't say anything like that. I was telling them this is my experience in relation to your experience, and I think we could trade notes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Right, right.
But they took it the wrong way. They thought I was trying to nose in and trying to criticize and belittle them. And I'm like, no, not at all. And I don't think any of them have ever come to the Quantum Show.
That's too
The
bad. I bet that they've gotten a lot of that, and they just jumped the gun and prejudged you as being another one.
Yeah, because I'm older than they are. They're millennials, right? They're the older millennials. They're not the
Mm-hmm.
newest ones, right? And they just took it the wrong way from the beginning. They thought that I was trying to insinuate that they were stupid or something, and I'm like, no, And the wife, Dana, she is much more receptive to talking to somebody. And they were doing, and this is the beginning of TikTok. That was when TikTok first was starting up.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
there were a bunch of trolls going on TikTok and copying them and stuff. And I guess they thought I was one of those. And Newkirks, if you're listening, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to make friends with you guys, not act like I was all that. It's just, y'all, I got like 15 years on you, and I've been doing this for 20 plus years. Dana,
Yeah.
no harm, no foul. I wasn't trying to do anything. I wasn't trying to be a jerk to you guys. I was just comparing our experiences respectively. You know what I'm saying? But that's all. Shout out to the Newkirks, Hellier crew. If they hear it, I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever. I don't think they've ever watched the show. But
So are
anyway,
they going to do another series? Because it wasn't really sewed up at the end. It was kind of open ended. Are they planning on doing another series?
they're wanting to. They are wanting to. They've been wanting to. They've been gathering material because this is not a story that happens very quickly. This is a story that has been going on for years and years.
And it's just unfolding.
Indrid Cold happened in the 60s, I think. The whole Indrid Cold incident happened in the 60s.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and they had an update in like 2017. That was the latest update about the Indrid Cold saga. And it is a saga. It is totally a saga.
Yeah.
But
so where do you think it's going? What do you think? I'm really interested in these little troll-like things that are in the cave systems. There's a lot of There's
the goblins.
I'm surrounded by defunct coal mines. Right across the road is a great big one. And when it rains really hard here, you go out in my driveway and there's just like little black sparkly diamonds and it's chunks of coal all over. It's really cool.
They have a word for that where it's they have a word for that. It's like, it makes me think of the word slush, but it's not the word slush, where they super hydrate the ground to make it easier to mine. And that's what happens, and it washes out, right? But yeah, I would observe those caves. I would be totally observing those caves as much as you can, because with all the activity that you have over there, there's something up. And it's always about the caves. And
I'm not going in by myself.
No, don't go in.
No.
Observe. Don't go in, but just observe.
And these, man. I can't help but wonder, okay, all the times that I feel watched when I'm outside. That's nothing new. I have felt that from day one. And I always feel it to some degree or another. And I've just gotten used to it and it doesn't frighten me anymore. But I just wonder if those 3-toed little creatures, trolls or whatever the hell they are around here. And if that's what I'm sensing, that occasionally goes through my mind. I'm never quite sure what it is. There's a lot of elemental.
Well, do you remember in the show, they were finished filming and they were packing up the cameras, and a little girl rode up to him on her bicycle or something and said, "Are you guys monster hunters?" And he said, "Yeah. Have you seen any monsters?" She goes, "Yeah." Oh, bring the cameras back. Record this. Record right now. And she drew a picture of one, and it was dead on what people had seen. Far, far away from her. It was the goblins that they had seen. And it turns out, most likely, they were spacesuits. And they were from, what do they call it? Ultra-terrestrials that come up to our reality. Because the caves, they're there. And just like Anjali's cave, it's there, but it's not in this frequency. But those caves happen to coincide. Both frequencies have the physical caves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they emerge. They're there. And okay, one thing was they talked to this hunter farmer guy that lived out in Hellier, and he said he went into a cave and he saw a fossilized turkey track. Okay, number one, turkeys didn't exist 3 million years ago. Okay, they were dinosaurs. They hadn't become turkeys yet.
Right. Right.
You know, I mean, when you're talking about fossilization, that's like a million-year process. When
Mm-hmm.
were turkeys first seen to have like a 4-inch turkey track, which is what we have now? Before turkeys were evolved, that's something that a little detail that escaped them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't think to look at the archaeological aspect of it. Like, when did turkeys evolve to be turkeys? Because they were still dinosaurs back then, right? They weren't turkeys yet.
Right. Right.
And like, I mean, it's not like primordial turkeys are living in caves, okay?
Yeah.
What's going on Shadow's place? Oh, that's him. Okay.
I saw that too.
Shadow, I saw some movement on your camera. I was like,
You're looking
uh-oh,
at the movement going, what's going
we
on?
got something going on in Shadow's.
Yeah,
Well,
our roommate was coming down the stairs, and Chewy was spooked because he forgot that my son's best friend is living with us now, and he got all spooked because he heard something coming down the stairs. He had to make a big deal about it, didn't you?
well, we had there was an EVP that his friend caught when we had done a show on 1-2 radio.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And did anything ever come of that? Did he ever?
He couldn't decipher it per se.
We played it over and over and over again, and I couldn't decipher what he was saying either.
I couldn't decipher. I heard something, but it's too hard to say. Well, it was an electronic glitch, or it was. I mean, you can't nail it down. I couldn't nail it down.
Yeah, you need a little bit more expensive equipment.
Yeah, and somebody with some audio mixing tools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get there, folks. We'll get there.
Yep. All right. Well, y'all, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, get off of live. And it's been great. Thanks, everybody in the chat, for hanging out for all of this. And I will be coming back. If something happens during the week, I will make a video, something, or some post somewhere. All my links are here on this channel. Everybody's links, both of you guys have links. Everybody who is affiliated with the show has a link in the description of all my videos from like 4 weeks ago on, right? And I will be updating, hopefully by tomorrow, updating the description with a few more things, because we talked about several things, and I need to learn how to chapterize these things, because I don't want to have to listen to the whole damn thing all over again just to find a detail. But
thanks for showing up, everybody.
Yes,
Fritz, really awesome to see you here tonight.
Yeah,
both shows actually.
Cool. All right, thanks everybody. Good night.
Okay, and y'all remember, keep it quantum. Pay attention and bring it to the show. I love Derek. I'm working on a way to get you on because you've been asking. Take it easy, guys. We're out. Keeping it quantum. Pushing buttons.
Pushing buttons. Pushing buttons.